started alive.
You started?
This time.
Okay. What are you playing? Have you played a video? Play.
Ancestors are people who lived within our communities and then passed on into the spirit world. We in African traditional spirituality, and especially Ewe vodu, we call these people who pass on into the spirit world as ancestors. And those that among them that had been spiritually active in this lifetime, in their lifetime, are the ones that we revere and pray to intercede on our behalf.
Yay! Wherever you go, yay! Washimana, Rampero Mulandu Shishi, 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 Washimana, Rampero Mulandu Shishi.
I'll say like my uncle, or more like my junior father. His father was a spiritualist, his grandfather was a spiritualist, his mother was a spiritualist, his great grandfather was a spiritualist, so he comes from a long line of spiritualists. But he's using the Ifa system, so they're using the cowries to do divination. But the Ifa system uses 4 on the right side and 4 on the left side. 4 represents the different elements, so earth, fire, water, air. And they're all predetermined. And so the number of ways this can fall, there by combination or permutation or whatever, is 16 major ones. So it can either be 1, 1, 1, 1, or when we say 1 when it faces up, and when it's 2 when it faces down. So it's a system we're using 1 and 2. So when it's up, it's 1, 1, 1, 1. It's like this I Ching thing you're saying. Yeah. It's different. When it's 2, it's 2, 2, 2, 2. The possible ways this can fall, there are 16 ways. So when you add the left and the right together and you bring them together, the combinations now become 256. There are 256 that are ranked from the first one until the last 256, and those 256 are into chapters, 16 chapters known as the Megis. We read from the right to the left. Now each sign, we call them poli or vodu, each sign has a meaning and a message, a very specific one, not just this thing. It has the songs, it has the herbs, it has the spirits that are working with it, and it has the advice in terms of social, even personality, or even a story just explaining a situation. So when we do divination with somebody, and when you go to like a real healer or something, most of the time, if they're doing Ifa, they're not going to use cowries. They'll use the gumaga, which is the divining chain, which is in Ifa. You can also use this if you use your spirits to do that. But the signs are so specific that when somebody comes for a divination, the sign should tell the person's problem. You don't need to talk. This is evident when I take, for example, Vikram, who's from India, to a guy who doesn't speak English.
You can still do a reading for
Yeah, you're doing a reading. It's not about it's not, a lot of people say that they are reading you, but when you put a cultural barrier to that, it's very different. And I've told you that this guy did readings kind of for like 7.
Me to ask for water or ask for money to buy water, I should give money to such a person, especially if the person is somebody I don't know. Just come and ask you. That experience we had in our shrine. Sometimes somebody will be knocking the gate, and when you open it, it's a mad person, and then person said it needs water, so we go and fetch water for the person to drink. And once they drink the water finish, they go. There was one situation also, there's a woman who dressed in black as if she was mourning. She came in here, they were cooking fresh granules. She came in without anything. She went and opened the pot. She said they should fetch some for her. They fetched for her, and then she went her way. So my old man told me that sometimes spirits can act in that way. They come and ask you something. It could be your own spirits. It could be spirits from other places who are passing by and realize that you are a spiritualist, and they want to see whether you are a kind person or a wicked person. So they come to you and ask you for a very simple thing. And what is the meaning of Christ? The word Christ is a Greek word. And the real word is Christus. And what is Christus? That one which is enlightened, the one whose mind and brain and intuition become active, who is enlightened. So when Jesus of Nazareth, when he was born, nobody born him Christ. He was never called Christ. He was called Emmanuel. He was only called Emmanuel. Even the place where people start calling him Jesus, I cannot really know, but I know from the very beginning he was called Emmanuel. That was a name that the parents gave him, and the Emmanuel has a meaning that God is with us. Just like in Ewe, when we say Mauli, means there is God in our language. So Emmanuel became Jesus, and Emmanuel, the sound is not good, eh?
kind of, I'll say, like my uncle, or more like
Yeah, wherever you go, yeah, Washimana, Vampero Mulandu Shishi, Vashimana, 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 Vampero Mulandu Shishi.
And what is the meaning of Christ? The word Christ is a Greek word. And the real word is Christus. And what is Christus? That one which is enlightened, the one whose mind and brain and intuition become active, who is enlightened. So when Jesus of Nazareth, when he was born, nobody born him Christ. He was never called Christ. He was called Emmanuel. He was only called Emmanuel. Even the place where people start calling him Jesus, I cannot really know, but I know from the very beginning he was called Emmanuel. That was a name that the parents gave him. And the Emmanuel has a meaning that God is with us. Just like in Eve, when we say Mauli, means there is God in our language. So Emmanuel became Jesus. And Emmanuel, the sound is not good, eh? To ask for water or ask for money to buy water, I should give money to such a person, especially if the person is somebody I don't know. Just come and ask you. That experience we had in our shrine. Sometimes somebody will be knocking the gate, and when you open it, it's a mad person, and then person said it needs water, so we go and fetch water for the person to drink. And once they drink the water finish, they go. There was one situation also, there's a woman who dressed in black as if she was mourning. She came in here, they were cooking fresh granules. She came in without anything. She went and opened the pot. She said they should fetch some for her. They fetched for her, and then she went her way. So my old man told me that sometimes spirits can act in that way. They come and ask you something. It could be your own spirit. It could be spirit. Just talk and then start to pray straight away. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. We are a little bit behind time. Good morning and good evening, wherever you may be. This is a Facebook question and answer section on Revolution platform, and I'm Christopher Voncujovi. We are a little bit late behind time because of some technical things that we couldn't fix on time. So now we are online with you. I'm going to pray, and then please get your questions and answer. Get your questions ready, and I'll be thinking about the questions that you are going to ask me, and I'll give you the answers. Thank you very much for joining us, and please, I want today to be the day of testimonies. Those of you who have had some experience with AMT, African Magic Temple, myself, Christopher Voncujovi, and then also my children, Sena, Pele, and also the other people working with us, those of you who have had some positive experiences, and even if it is negative, please, I want you to come out and testify and let us know so far what we have been teaching you and doing with you, whether it is effective or it is not effective, whether you are gaining something from it or it is just the same old things that other people have done in the past. So get your friends involved, share this moment with people, and we'll all juggle our ideas together. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon on Revolution platform, the Real Vodu Education. I'm going to pray now. Some people have been complaining we don't know how to pour libation. We don't know how to pour libation. If those people are watching us, I'm going to pour libation now. What the prayer I'm going to do here is also libation pouring. It is not always that you have to go outside and pour libation on the floor or on the ground. You can pour libation on vodus or the oracle or the things that you have as a spirit or energies that you work with, and especially if they are from African tradition, because the African traditional spirits drink alcohol. Oh, ago mauga, mauga sobolisa, meduago, mauga kitikata, meduago, mauga ese joto, ame joto, ese na anuame, ese te anuame, womanobevi, dokunobevi. Womanobevi mebianu dokunobevi ogbe na, dokunobevi mebianu womanobevi ogbe o. Ese nye popolipo, ese nye datafia, meyora kakakakakakaka. Meduago na se me hamfura choko semi fura chobete duago yo abraxas me yo zi adrepo duago me yo ta adreto bevi me kuna wo veso aton ka me yo meduago me yo mia no zo je anyi duzo kakachi kazi boshi adreme ya la fa banya gbe mi la pe me nya gbe joru hono me yo ra keke we nya yin gba manjo floro fokula yin gba mo duadika wo nya prime mateku etega. Oh, my yaw, a kind, but you were kind, only a kind, Java kind, Busuva kind, Trova kind, Manuva kind, Dufio kind, Mamma Tabaka, Gava kind, Peripa, remember Hajadolo, a couple of Amanda Theatre, but so that you may know that hog bab, walk with me, Zango, Miami Pluvio, came a hog bese. Mayor Raka, Jock Pata, John Macua, for come over, Management, Volvo, Magberi, Kuku, Quator, performance job when you have a job when you toy a modu, to an quarter venue, le payment, but over your two zocle, woman, not a pericow, Jock Patabele, happy a Jovova job. Nyi jokpata be fialo jokpata petro magbeda molo abi fagberi di na jokpata na enfi mi ajolo jokpata tefe me yo mesi me gbojide to togbe de nte apape luti zugbolu ajima ogboju pro do jalo fen ko me valenti fefe me va lo jona pofu ago sapate me yo atigeli me yo guru vodu me yo ke alafia ye me yo amaga sengeja papa sen togbe geje ba kwa ha me yo brahini gbogbochi mgbe foli koko mo reke gomini godo kluche kuma ko malaga to bo nyimba ho to ko sipe kuma yo no yakoso go kuma yo fonyo ko geje tasi nya mo sifusi jam ko so abrako bra mama nya gbodo mba to bo nya go kofi akubia mensa doro efe mgbe pekuno mi ba kwa ha yo fonyo Celestine ya bakubia Katrina kubia fonyo sese ko jo fonyo ya oben akubia me kwa hare na mi me yo mi asro ewo mbo atuchi atufu akubia Cecilia pene ka tefe mensa me kwa hare na mi opetete me yo awu no tuji boko tuji togbe tuji me yo kinikini hase ko nchi jagbe barasu baragbo na me yo boko adafli so agbovi boko afacha wa joge ekuto me nefa na mi gongo me na gbegbo no nefa na nyeko jo chema no sia me yo mi ara keke yo mi di defenu poto mi okele me no poto sa no poto viviti me no poto awudi da fa me cha va gbere pe vi wa dape me yo mi da keke me yo abochi sakraka me chwa ba bia dogo kotokoli don ko okunu maku agbere no gbere to bo no lecho franta mani fifini nkura bisinkra me yo kofi to jamba ku ocho to akofi ocho he kofi atra me yo kable me yo okrachi dente obubu yabu eno abumenda ko to kaka amodi di megbodu amavo vol do nwemu fo hara na mi opete me yo agbla vi amo megbo ama to me ye nugbo khamle no drecho avo na eminya no drecho awu na eminya me yo kule ko azale ko me yo ablawoli kadeve ku konya no kenya mi kpo ame me yo ra to gba ho gbato me gba vodu to ra ko ibo ma ya za pasa gidi krunyo khoto ko shinyo khoto o kere ku me yo afana go no afagbo majizo pepe to mozole me dakpa bi me yo poli gbe meji yeku meji woli meji di meji lo so meji ngole meji abla meji akra meji guda meji sa meji ka meji trupe meji tula meji lete meji che meji fu meji poli che tula me yo klebo vire ke me fo to ba do bo me to ba de nya de ne me fo ne dilo ya to afanya me vodu pete me ya kinto la pleto mi ba kwa hane mi anu legba ajigbosu zume legba evi me yo okologo hoko tichia me fo hara na mi ke yo to gbe glim do be pochoji me fo abeja ne gbe komo kwa chini me yo mi ra ke ya me yo asapo be chi vo ba zane po trovo ba gba zane po penje ke me yo ra ke kliagbo jagbo mi ba kwa ha dagbe me yo alaja do apenyaga de kujo ya segbeje ple nuka de viola lu tosi ne ku alo no si ne ku la visa matu ne de kakpo vire jagbo ne ba mla banyeji ne de tugbo vire jagbo ne ba mla banyeji jadu kotoko titugbo ebe titugbo nyonu obe ngogbe titugbo me yo ra ke dagbe ape me vodu pete me yo amerika daksila amerika ungbere ke gbo ne me yo amerika kwa mi o keke me yo lo ba hahamia no egbe mi le Facebook live wo egbe nye 31st of May le tie be nu fe tututu ni mi le ya tefe ame yo bete le he me le mi akpo dagbe ne ba na enu nwi ne ba na ala mesese ne ba na agbe ne ba na ngogbe yi ne ba na edo ne je doji me yo le do lo ba na me no se me yo ba la me se o le do do ne je ji na me yo me kpo do lo do ne ba na ame yo le sron di be yo le no kpo sron da me yo le vidi be yo ji no jivi ame yo le sron pe me le fude na re me ne fa na me ne bobo na gudu na tefe ame yo me no hala me do me de to gbe yo na me hala jogera kekesia dagbe lo. Yes, we are ready now. I have just poured libation as you have seen. We have this is the way to pour libation, calling your ancestors, calling the vodus, calling the spirits and the entities, the divinities, the intelligences that you are working with. You pour libation for them and tell them what you are doing and let them be part of whatever you want to do. And they will be there. There is a saying that when the hearer of your problems is present, when you speak, you will get answers. But when the person who hears your prayers is not there, when you speak, you are just speaking into the air and no one knows whether the answer will come or no answer will come. But when the hearer is present, when you speak, they will hear you. Let's start with the questions. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon. We are live on Facebook and also on YouTube, as well as African Magic Temple's website. First post from Joy Alexander saying Grand Rising.
Hello, Joy Alexander. Thank you very much. Has he been part of this for long? I think today is the first time I'm hearing the name.
Yes,
but anyway, thank you very much, Joy Alexander. You are welcome to African Magic Temple, transmitting on Revolution, transmitting on African Magic Temple platform. Yes, thank you very much.
Tofa Raymond says...
Hello, Tofa, how are you? How is our brothers and sisters in Nogokpo? Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah.
It says, good afternoon, watching you live from Western Togoland.
Tofa is
Western Togoland.
I thought it was the one calling from Nogokpo, from Western Togoland. That's Volta region. Okay, thank you, Western Togoland people.
Luciana Obi.
Yes, Luciana, how are you, Obi?
I need to visit you after the pandemic.
Sure, I am here all the time. No problem. Thank you very much, Luciana.
Ebony Joy, good day, family.
Hello, Ebony, how are you? Thank you very much for joining us, and a very good day to you too.
She also added, please teach, we are waiting to listen to you.
Yes, sure, I am here to teach.
Chris Thomas,
greetings. Hello, Chris, thank you very much for joining us, and my regards to you and your family and everybody. Yes.
Joy Alexander, my soul cries for a place I've never been. I'm so grateful for you all. Many, many blessings.
Thank you very much, Joy. I'm very grateful for you joining us and listening to our teaching. We are trying to awaken our people. I think all of you have seen what is happening in the U.S. when our people are on rampage, but they have the right to be on rampage because of the pain that everybody felt. I even shed a tear. Obama, I was watching him yesterday on the Facebook, and I saw him shed a tear because of this. Obama cried in front of cameras. It means everybody is feeling the pain. It's only that we are somehow far away, and there's not much we can do than to pray for peace and understanding.
Angie Jim Fisher greets his family from Georgia.
Hello, Angie. How are you? How is Torisi? How is everybody? My regards to you all, and thank you very much for joining us.
Ifadara, greetings, Papa and family from Augusta, Georgia.
Thank you very much, big sister Ifadara. How are you and the family? all of you should take care of yourselves as the rampage is going on in spreading around the U.S. I implore you all to be very conscious and be aware of yourselves. Don't get too much involved whereby you will get hurt. Yes, you will get involved, but be cautious, because you are dealing with people who are very ruthless, who don't think of human life as important. So, because I saw one where a white man was using a bow and arrow to shoot into the protesters. I mean, and he said all lives matter. So if all lives matter, do you need to shoot arrow into the protesters for somebody to die or to get hurt? I mean, it's interesting when I see this kind of things. But then here we are at African Magic Temple. We are behind you strongly in spirit.
Shamba, Mr. Mohammed.
Yes, hello, Shamba. How are you? Thank you very much for joining us. We are a little bit late today because there are certain things that are disturbing us technically and also not technically, but we have overcome them all. So we are here now. Yes.
He says, good morning, Papa. I just want to say that the spirits are very active and real. I made a pledge to Akai to help me get my car, and Akai has completed his task. Thank you for the people, Papa. I'm very grateful.
Okay, thank you very much, Shamba, that Akai had helped you to get your car. And I saw the picture of the car. It's a very, very beautiful car. I don't know whether you can share the car. Is it possible to share the picture of the car on this thing? We as African Magic Temple, we are not like a religious sect whereby we are preaching the gospel of prosperity. No, we are teaching each and every one of you. And let him do it. It's not you who will do it. Said, you sit down. It's not you who will do it. He can do it if it can be done. If it's not possible, it doesn't matter. Shamba, what is happening is that we don't preach the gospel of prosperity. What we teach at African Magic Temple and Revolution is we teach you how to empower. We empower you with knowledge and wisdom. And then with this knowledge and wisdom, you can now know how to empower yourself and people close to you. And then you can now talk to the spirit well so that you can relate and send your problems up there and bring your problems down here or wherever. And that's what that we teach here. We teach you how to become you. We're not here for you to worship us or to respect us because we are above. No one is above anybody. What I do as a teacher is to teach you to make you to know how to empower yourself so that you can become a leader. I don't like followers. I don't want followers. I don't want people to follow me. I want to build leaders who can also build other leaders. That's what I do. So thank you very much, Shamba. Thank you. I'm very grateful that Akai has helped you, and you also made me to understand that you were doing the Thanksgiving rituals to Akai. And now that we are here, I'm going to ask Akai whether the things that you did over there, if everything is okay, so we can all say, Akai, Shamba Musa. This is what Shamba is saying. He has made a pledge to you to get a car, and he got it. And you were able to fulfill your part of the pledge, and he also, whatever he has pledged to you, he has also given them to you. Has always also given them to you. So Shamba wants to know whatever he has done, is everything fine? I am asking again, everything, the Thanksgiving that Shamba has done for you, or what he has pledged, he has given them to you and the other spirit. Is it okay? Are you agreeing that that is fine? Say yes. It's okay, Shamba. Akai said your Thanksgiving has been accepted and he is happy for that. So I should tell you that everything is okay. Are you having a friend called Kwesi? I don't know, but if you do, let me know later. It's a Ghanaian name. It's a Kwesi, whether that one or it's a Sunday born. I don't know who that person is, but I think Shamba is born on Wednesday. It's a Koku. Okay, but they say Kwesi. They are calling somebody Kwesi. I don't know who that is in your life, but let me know if you have anybody like that. Yeah. So you are fine. We thank Akai. We thank you also for your testimony, and then also telling us that Akai is working well.
Okay. Ifamu Agun Jeyon. Good morning, Bokor from
Hello,
Trinidad.
Ifamu Agun. How are you?
I always feel the energy when you are praying and
Yeah,
pouring
the energy is
libations
universal. I'm only calling them here, but they are everywhere. So if you are also connected on that universal plate or on that universal plane, when I am calling them, of course, they have to vibrate you wherever you are.
Kenneth, good afternoon, Papa. Watching live. Much love and greetings to the family.
Thank you very much, Ken. How are you doing? Thank you very much. I'm very grateful. Me want to okay. I don't go up and down. You mean I can't set to me properly. Yes, let's go. Kenneth was saying hello, and I'm saying hello back to him, and my regards to the whole family, everybody. Yes.
Nana Koko Sechi, good afternoon, Togwi from
Hello.
Maryland.
Yeah, hello, Nana Koko Sechi. Thank you very much for joining us. Today is a very quiet and a cool day. We had rains the whole of yesterday, and everything is quiet and cool, and we are here. And thank you very much for joining us, Nana Koko Sechi. My regards and greetings to people in Maryland.
Shabaki Fernandez, good morning
Shabaki. Yes,
Guyana.
Shabaki. Yes, how are you? How is Guyana? Hope everybody is doing well in the family, and may the ancestors and the gods of our people continue to bless you all.
Blessings to you and the African Magic Temple.
Thank you very much, and same to you too.
Ebenezer Bonsu, greetings, Papa and team.
Hello, Eben, how are you? Thank you. I saw the messages you sent me on Messenger, but I wasn't having enough data at my residence, so I could not look at it. But after I see it finish, I will make my comment. Thank you very much for sending me, and thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Ifadara, all are well in my family. Praises.
Thank you very much, big sister Ifadara.
Carlos Kwame, hello from Georgia.
Hello, Carlos. How are you? Thank you very much for joining us. Yes.
Nana Koko Sechi.
Yeah.
Togwi, my question is, could medicine somehow have saved the man from being killed by the policeman, or is protective herbs more about mentalism?
If you mean George Floyd, whether medicine, what kind of medicine are you talking about? If you are talking about talisman or spiritual protection, yes, if he had a spiritual protection, I believe very, very strongly that incident wouldn't even have taken place in the first place, to the point of somebody kneeling on his neck and choked him to death. That's what spiritual protection is to protect you and to prevent the unexpected from happening to you. So surely those who are protected, or those who have been initiated into different orders, which are real orders. I'm not talking about any kind of sham initiation that people go around the world and come back and say, I am initiated. And then they think that once you are initiated into one oracle or one particular vodu or this thing, that means you have a total initiation in the whole world. No. Initiation is inside initiation, in the sense that there are some initiations for you to protect you. There are some initiations to open your eyes and open your ears. There are initiations for you to be able to become knowledgeable and have wisdom. So each and every initiation has its own merits and demerits. But initiation into protective spirituality, for instance, if you are initiated into Jokwata, such kind of things are not supposed to happen in your life. And I have not yet heard from anyone who had been initiated into Jokwata as a protective energy that had gone through anything that is strange without coming out alive. Not yet. Not yet. Maybe it will happen in the future or it has happened in the past. But since I have become the owner of Jokpata Shrine and I have been initiating people into Jokpata, I've not yet seen anybody who is wearing Jokpata or who is initiated into Jokpata that had such kind of things. There must be something that will come and protect you or move you from that place, or it will happen before you get there. That's the power we have in Jokpata. And it is to bring good luck and all this thing to you. So such things, if he were protected spiritually very well, I don't think that he would have even gone to that place or such thing would have happened. We have had so many incidents where people were in car, the car had an accident, the car somersaulted, some people died and all this thing. But those people who have Jokpata, nothing happened to them.
Angie Jane Fisher.
Yes.
Greetings, Papa. I've received the Akain bundle, and since using it, Akain has been fulfilling most of my needs, and I know faithfully all others will be forthcoming.
Thank you very much, Angie, for telling us what is happening in your life with the Akain pack. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
Kwabna Heru.
Yes.
Greetings, Papa.
Hello, Kobina.
Praying all is well with you and all of us here.
Sure, we are all fine and we are kicking. We are hoping and praying for everybody, especially our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, especially in America. There's a lot of things happening there, and we don't know when it will end. Yeah, but then I'm urging people to stop destroying things and just focus on themselves and their lives. Yeah, we had this for hundreds of years, and it's still continuing. Of course, when you get angry, you show your anger in many and various ways. But this distraction is not the only way to show your anger. There are so many other ways you can show your anger. So I am calling and telling all of you to be calm and take care. Make sure you protect yourself and get away from the violence.
He's watching us from Ohio, US.
Thank you very much, Cobra.
Joy Alexander is also watching from Kansas City, Missouri.
Thank you very much to all of you for joining us.
Thomas Ni Obodai Togbo. Greetings, Papa.
Hello, Mr. Togbo. Greetings. My regards to you and to your whole family. Thank you very much for joining us.
Carrie Fisher, greetings, Papa and family. I am well. I have a kind bundle and it has been working wonderfully in my life.
Carrie, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, you are the mother of Akain in the US. Thank you very much.
Fredua Amankwa.
Yes.
Father,
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Fredua. Yes, I saw your message on WhatsApp. So I'll answer you. I was in a hurry to come to the shrine for the this thing, so I couldn't answer you. But then when I'm done with the Facebook Live, I'll go back and then look at it well. And if there's anything to say, I'll let you know.
He says, those who speak only Tree, how can they communicate with you from Bologna, Italy?
Yes, I'm sorry, I don't speak Tree. I'm an Ewe man. I'm not compelled and forced to speak Tree because I speak Ewe. And I believe if you will understand or agree with me, not every Tree people speak Ewe either. I'm trying to teach about Ewe tradition, so I maintain that Ewe language. If you want to speak to me in Tree, then find someone who can translate your language into a common language that we speak in Ghana, which is English. Or if the person can translate it into Ewe for me, it will be much better. Because I am trying to teach about Ewe. I don't see how many people, Tree people speak Ewe. So I don't speak Tree. I'm sorry.
Ebenezer Abonsu, I received an award from work, and the way my leadership at work have drastically changed after you and the team helped perform rituals to my ancestors and my father. I know there's more to come. These things you stand for and teach us are very real and serious. Can't take it lightly and for granted. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you, Eben. I'm very happy to hear that you've gotten a promotion or you've gotten an award at work. there is more to come. As I told you, that once you have done the ancestral feeding and also taking care of the witches, for sure, things will change in your life. And it is this is not magic, it is not tricks. This is reality. Knowing your roots and going back to your roots and following the directions that the oracle gives you. When you follow it to the brim, definitely nature will hear you and will answer you.
Nakokosechi, very nice. Like the proverb of the crocodile, he's hard because God born him that way.
He said what?
He says very nice. Like the proverb of the crocodile, he's hard because God gave birth to him that way.
Yes. Naturally, crocodile has a hard skin. In Oyeku Meiji, the crocodile made him to be tough. So even no matter what, that tough skin is not going to kill the crocodile. That is his nature. He has to have a tough skin. So in Ifa Odu Yekumeji, the crocodile is tough.
Joy Alexander,
yes.
Are we born with protective spirits or do you have to be initiated for that?
Everybody is born with their destiny. Some people have their destinies are weak, or their destinies are not very strong, in the sense that the negative destiny is stronger than the positive destiny. Such people may be doing things the same way other people are doing, but they don't get the results that other people get, even though they are doing the same thing that other people are doing. On the other hand, those people who have got their destinies strong from birth, they are born with strong destiny, and the stronger the destiny is active, they do things, even with a little effort they do, things begin to succeed for them. So we are all born into this world with different destinies, and no two people have the same destiny. So even though you may be born with a protection or protective energy, you must born yourself again. You must be born again. I'm not talking about the Christian way, but that is how it is in the traditional way. You must reborn yourself by trying to find out what your mission in this world is, what kind of things you should do, what kind of people you should relate to, what kind of spirits that are in your line that can favor you and work for you. You can't say that you are just born and then because you are born with protection and then you are... Let me tell you one thing. When you are born today, from the day they drop you on this earth as a human being, you are responsible for your life. But because your parents are the one who brought you in here, they tend to be responsible for you, protecting you, because you are like their idol, you are like their love, built into one object. And they will protect you and guide you to a point where they feel that you are strong enough, or you are clever enough, or you have your own mind enough to take care of you. From there onwards, your parents will also leave their hands. But I tell you, God who created this world, whether it's a man, a woman, or nothing, once you come here, it is your own responsibility to protect and take care of yourself. If you die today, God does not care. If you die tomorrow, God doesn't care. But if you manage your life to live for 50 years, 100 years, or many years before you leave the earth, God does not care. Because this place is just, we are just passing through. We came from somewhere, we are passing through here as a classroom, and then we move on to another place. So if you are passing through and you don't take care of yourself, don't think that anybody cares or anything in the world cares. Just like the ant, the small ant going on the road, and if a car runs over it and dies, do you think God cares? We are just the same. We are not different from animals, we are not different from plants, and we are not different from ants. It is up to you to protect yourself. So start thinking of how to take care of yourself than worrying about what people will think about you. So no matter what, you have been born here, it is up to you. It's your responsibility to take care of yourself. Thank you.
Okay, we go to Angie J. Fisher.
Hello, Angie. Yes.
Also, thank you, Papa. Since my mom has been wearing the bangle, she hasn't had any anxiety attack other than her own worries for her sons. She's fine. AMT is the real deal, and I cannot wait until they open up the borders. My plane ticket is still on hold.
Okay, thank you, Angie. I'm very grateful for that. We have your mother had gotten the Jopata bangle, and we think about her. We pray for her every now and then. And then also some other people who were sick, we also send the Jopata to them, and things have started happening in their life, their health. We sent some to Niger in West Africa, and we had a good result. I've sent one to Mexico, to Alma Castillo, and we are getting good results. And we have sent to many people. From tomorrow, 2 other people who are requesting it, they have even sent us money already. I'm going to send to them one in Malaysia and another one in the US. So yes, Jopata is a real bangle for protection as well as for good luck, and changes your fortune, your opportunities in your life. It is not only for protection, but it brings good luck and changes your destiny, your opportunities, and create chances for you. So thank you very much, Angie, for this testimony. I'm very grateful.
Okay, on YouTube.
Yes, on the YouTube.
Segment Awakens. Greetings, brother.
Hello, Segment Awakens. Thank you very much for joining us, and greetings to you too.
Abayomi, greetings from Lagos, Nigeria.
Hey, my brother. Baoni, how are you? Thank you very much for joining, Abayomi. Great. Hope you are doing well.
Martin Kobler, good morning, Unoga. Can you explain the meaning of the symbol you have for the African Magic Temple?
For Martin, yes, I have just explained it a week before, last week. I have already explained about the symbol of the logo. We are calling it the logo. We have got the bangle, the Jopata bangle, as I am wearing. And the Jopata bangle has this yellow metal, red metal, and then the black metal, forming it as you can see it on my wrist. And then those people who have also put it on the Facebook, who were trying to let people know that they have got Jopata and it's working for them. So that is the bangle. And then we have this one. It was last week. I think it was last week when we were. This is Iwori and this is Ogunda. So we have in Ewe we call it Woli Godo, Woli, and Guda become Woli Godo. So we have the Woli Godo as this thing, which simply means that go back to your back, look back, go back to your roots. The Akan call it Sankofa. So this writing, this is the way our ancestors write. But you see, people used to say that the Africans don't know how to write. We don't have a script. It's not true. You see, this sign 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. These are all binary. And it is upon this that computer and everything has been built. That's why we have the computer company called the Oracle, which a lot of people don't know why it came, because this is how the Oracle writes. So when it writes like this, this has a meaning, and this has meaning. So when you combine these two, you've got a big story to be told here. Okay, so this is the Oracle, the writings in the Oracle, and this is how our ancestors wrote and write their stories. By just doing this sign, this alone can be translated, or there are about 16 different stories inside this one alone. And this one also has 16 different stories in it alone. So if you know how to decode it, yeah, let me call it in that form. It's in coded form. So when you know how to decode it, you can tell the story of people when the oracle falls for them. So in this Iwori and Guda, which the Eves will call Woli, Woli actually represent grave. Yes, it represents the grave. So Woli, Godo means look back in Ewe, go backwards. So you have to look back at the roots of where you come from, and then if there is anything happening there, you learn from there, and then you move forward. So that is it. These are the eyes of the oracle watching us over whatever we are doing. This is the cowrie, this cowrie here, Hochui. That's the cowrie that we put there to show. This design actually was done by my son Pele, the one who follows Senna directly, and he is our photographer and art designer. My son Pele, he designed the logo, and this axe is the axe that my old man gave me as authority for me to communicate with the spirits and be able to give my voice, and they listen to me. So it is like the magic one, but then ours is in the form of an axe. So when I strike the axe down and I ask spirits to do things, they obey me. That's my command to them. And then you have the two triangles that one comes down and one goes up. A lot of time people are thinking that it's the symbol of the Jewish Israel. Yes, it looks the same. It is the same, but it has a different meaning. In ours, the triangle that comes down, this triangle that comes down is the triangle to draw the energy that you are looking for from the universe to work with. And then the triangle that goes up is when you work with the energy, what you want to achieve, you send it back into the universe or into the psychic field. That is what it represents. It is not directly about King David and the Jewish flag, but we use them. We don't have to draw one here and draw one separately. That's why we mix it up. So this is what the symbol of African Magic Temple, or our logo is. For Martin, I think I have answered you.
Bright Aku, good morning. Talk to you.
Bright Akwe or Aku? Aku? Bright Aku, yes, okay. Hello, how are you? Welcome to African Magic Temple.
Martin Kobler. Yes. Sorry. Dear Hunoga, good afternoon. Is there a hierarchy among our divine helpers? If so, can you explain it for me? I
told you many times that the Ewe voodoo does not have hierarchy like the Yoruba Ifa thing. I have said it many times because voodoo is not the same like Orisha or Ifa in the sense that a voodoo, everybody, the voodoos I have, nobody has. Or many people don't have the kind of voodoo I have. Then what is the hierarchy in it? It is only in your shrine if you want to place one above the other because the way they work with you, then that is that. But generally, I don't have any hierarchy whereby I'm going to explain anything in a hierarchical form. Apart from Mau Ese, Mau Sobolisa, Mau Kitikata that we call generally, yeah, that's all. Other things are just there. So I don't have any hierarchical way of explaining about which voodoo is higher than which one. I don't do those kind of things, and I don't really go into that. My spiritual practice that I am teaching, I inherited from my old man and myself traveling around the world. That's what I teach. I don't follow those olden ways of people making, trying to create a religion by people looking at them and begin to worship the master of the spirits. No, I don't do that. I don't want anybody to worship me.
Ebenezer Bonsu, good afternoon from Kentucky.
Hello, Ebenezer, how are you? Thank you for joining again.
Ebenezer Bonsu, Facebook is suddenly acting funny with their teachings.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know. That's why we are trying as much as possible to get ourselves out of Facebook, if we can, to go onto YouTube or to our own. Even if we go onto our own website. I don't know how people will watch us. They may have to use Facebook to watch us, is it not?
They can watch on the website.
Without the, okay, so we are trying as much as possible to get away from Facebook if we can.
We are also live on the website.
So we are also live on our own website, African Magic Temple. People can tune in. People can tune in.
I've done it.
People can tune in directly to African Magic Temple website, or get us African Magic Temple on YouTube channel, because Facebook, I think there's a lot of things happening there. They have given their words, but they themselves are breaking their words. If they say, if you do said they say, that's what they do. The chief makes a rule, but he breaks the rule himself. That's what they are doing. So, I mean, we are at their mercy. We are at their mercy, because we don't know what we have done wrong. We don't know what truth is so bitter in the ears of certain people.
Okay. Bright Aku, how are you, Toby?
I'm doing okay, Bright. How are you too?
Indigenous One, greetings from Hopewell, US.
From where?
Hopewell.
Hopewell, US. So thank you very much. That's the Bright Aku? Or another person? Indigenous One. Yes, hello, Indigenous One. Thank you for joining us. We have received your greetings, and we are sending our regards to you and your family. Please be careful, take care of yourself so that no one hurts you.
Musings about Africa. Greetings, Papa and team. Thank you always for sharing time and wisdom with us.
Thank you very much. New things about Africa, right? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us. We are
Papa,
very grateful. Yes.
May you please suggest how often one should do a reading?
To do a reading, there are many teachers out there who do readings. We at African Magic Temple, we also do readings. But then we are not saying that if we say you should do a reading, that you should necessarily come to us only to do a reading. If you have a teacher out there which is closer to you, or anybody you can trust out there nearer to you, you can approach them for a reading. But at African Magic Temple, we do online readings and we do physical reading. The online readings that we do, it will cost you $150 as our reading charges. And when you come physically, if you are a Ghanaian and you are in Ghana, we take 400 Ghana cedis plus 2 bottles of beef eater, dry gin from you, and we do the reading physically in front of you. But then even if we are doing the reading online, we connect you on WhatsApp or on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, so that you can be with us, and we do it together, and it will look as if you are sitting in front of us. So this is how we do our reading. Thank you very much. Who asked that question?
New things about Africa.
New things about Africa. Thank you. So that's how we do reading. We do reading here for online around the world. People from all over can do reading with us directly. But then if you have someone closer to you and you can trust that the person has got the capacity, the ability to be able to do a reading that will go to the point what you are wanting to hear, yes, why not? We are not the only people in the world who knows about Afar or about Mirror or other the cowries or whatever. There are thousands and thousands of good teachers out there. There's one famous one, Edward Craig, and then Nathan Lugo, and many other, Kokosachi, Nana Kokosachi is there, Menuhati, Kemaata. They are all out there who can do a reading for you. So you can consult them. They are all bona fide and well-vested spiritualists. If they are closer to you, please, why not? Try to get to them and learn from them. And they also will teach you, because they had also undergone training through their teachers and all this, and they know what they are doing. So please, we are here. We will do a reading for you if you want us to. But then if you get some teacher closer to you, please, why not?
Okay. Musings about Africa again. Papa, do you have any words or wisdom, encouragement for those who want to practice African traditional spirituality but face fierce resistance from family or loved ones? How do you negotiate that tension?
You see, one thing is that African traditional spirituality is not a religion. And nobody can force you to come and practice it. And it is also not that people should try to convince you in a way, in a trickish way, for you to come and practice it. It should be an awakening within yourself that you want to know the truth. And if you want to know the truth, there is nothing like a family or a friend that will tell you, oh, it is not good, don't do it, and all this, and then you are beginning to hide. No, if you are looking at it from a religious point and thinking of it as a group thing, then such things come in. But honestly speaking, I don't think anything can stop you if that awakening comes within you. Because my story, I was born in a Christian home. My mother is a Catholic, and my mother was a Catholic, and my father was a Protestant from the Evangelical Presbyterian Church. My father were the people who contributed money or who built the church. It was a very big church called the EP Church in Hohoi. My father was one of those, and in his youth, he was the choir master and then the organist of the church. But my grandfather was a traditionalist. So we grew up on the church compound, Boji, they call it in Ewe. We grew up there, and we all went to the Presbyterian nursery, kindergarten, and then to primary, to middle school, and even I went to the Presbyterian EP secondary school. So you can imagine that I was totally, completely in Christianity, because every morning there is a section that, whether you were in primary or in middle school or in secondary school, where we worship. But then I personally broke away from all that and joined the charismatic church when it came in the 70s in Ghana. The charismatic church in Ghana actually came from the US to West Africa or to Ghana. And in those early days, I became part of that charismatic church as a young man. I was interested in becoming an evangelist. And then I go to church, do fasting and all kind of things. But then it got to a point I realized that the pastor, what he was telling us, because they were also, those pastors were also not actually trained pastors as such. They will just give them some crash course, and then they become the voice of God, and they begin to see and talk. All these were all lies, actually. Honestly speaking, they were all lies, because they know that people were hungry for material world, so they used that to attract people. But as a young man, I wasn't attracted to material world. I wanted to know the truth. So when I discovered and find out that my pastor wasn't actually telling me or telling us everything, he once said that he was meditating and at dawn and he saw Satan dancing and singing our favorite song that we were singing at church those days. And so from that day that he came to church, we shouldn't sing that song anymore because he saw Satan singing that song. My brothers and sisters, let me tell you, we are black people, and Satan is a black man. According to the Bible, Satan is a black man. According to all the photographs we have seen, the Satan is a black man. There is no black angel in heaven apart from Satan. So look at you and look at yourself very well in the mirror, whether you look like Satan or you look like Angel Gabriel. So what our pastor said that time of seeing the Satan dancing, and for that reason we shouldn't. I use my common sense. There's a common sense, it's not very common, but as a young man, I was able to figure out that that is not what I wanted. So I broke away from Christianity completely, and because our pastor said that they were doing meditation, he was doing meditation and sought Satan. So I went back home and asked my father, what is meditation? Because that was a very new word to me. And I didn't know what that, I was about 14 years, I don't know. And it wasn't a very new word to me. I did not understand what meditation was. So I went to my dad, and my dad gave me a book that I should read, which talked about meditation. And the book was written by one Paul Brereton. I don't know whether that book is anywhere anymore, but it's a book by Paul Brereton called The Narrow Path. So I read that book, and then in the book talked about meditation, and then the difference between meditation and prayer. And then the book also went on to speak about yoga. And it was also a new word to me. I've never heard about yoga before. But then I was praying and fasting that if that path of yoga is my path to go and learn about the truth of God, then the God should open the doors for me. And then I think after my 1 week of fasting, there was a poster in my village that there was a teacher coming from Accra, coming to teach meditation. And I thought it was purposely made for me. It was my prayer that was directly answered. So the day the teacher came was an American white guy called Dada Girish. That very day, I took Minanudu Heviosia. That very day, I took initiation from Dada Girish into Ananda Marga Pracharaka Sangra, which is the AMPS, which I was involved into an Indian group that teaches about meditation and Tantra yoga. I was so excited that I got into this, and finally my father and my brothers, realizing that I was changing, decided not to associate with me. And even I was not, because I became a vegetarian, all of a sudden I don't eat meat, I don't eat anything. I was only cooking my own food with vegetables and pawpaw and all these things. And then that's why I was living my life, and I became a very strange person among my brothers. But then, because the hunger for truth was rushing and pushing me, I didn't feel anything. It got to a point I had to leave my father's house at the age of 16 years. I have to get out of my father's house, and then I came all the way to Accra to stay at the yoga center. And while I was still going to school in Ebenezer Secondary School at Mamprobi, I was at the Hindu shrine, or we call it ashram, the Jagriti. I was at the Jagriti going to school, and then I went through all this, and finally I became a monk ordained in India. So my journey is a very long journey. It's not been a short one. So if the truth is really driving you, I don't think your father or your mother, anybody can stop you. So the advice I can give you is, don't think that spirituality is an easy path where you become rich by just going on the spiritual path, just like you see it in some of our African movies, especially Nigerian movies, whereby they tell you that when you go to traditional thing, it becomes evil and you become rich, and anybody who is rich is either using the traditional spirituality, that's why they become rich. Who preaches prosperity more than the Christian groups? It's Christianity that preaches gospel of prosperity, yet still they are the very people who will say that anybody who is trying to be prosperous in any other way which is not Christian way is an evil person. But then truth always will stand. Truth will always stand tall. No matter how they try to bend it, it can never be broken. It will always stand tall. So you see me here today teaching about African traditional spirituality. Even though I was born into it, indirectly because my grandfather was a practitioner. My great-grandfathers all practiced. My mother's father, my mother's aunties, my grandfathers on both sides practiced it. But I was born into a Christian home. But then I left that home because my desire for the truth supersedes everything. That's why you see me talking about this. So the advice I'll give you is that let that feeling that you are having to practice traditional spirituality be a pure one. And if it is a pure one, the ancestors will guide you where you should go and how things should go on for you. Thank you very much.
Musings about Africa.
Yes.
Thanks, Papa and team.
You are
Message
welcome.
from US.
Thank you very much.
He was also saying, Papa, thanks for the information again. Regarding how long or how frequent you should do a reading, I'm asking more in terms of time frame. Would you recommend?
Okay, to do a reading, you can do a reading every day. Anytime that you don't understand something and something looks more strange to you and you cannot find out from your own logical and reasonable way, you can do a reading. I explained it the other day that for even traditionalists or people who are on this path, mostly every day they do a reading for themselves to find out what the day is, what they should do during the day to be successful, to be alive, to take care of themselves and their responsibilities. That is how it is. But in the case of such people, it's because the oracle is with them, they have that opportunity. But then if you don't have that opportunity, that the oracle is not close to you, or you don't have any particular energy given to you or voodoo given to you that can communicate with you on daily basis, from time to time you can opt and ask for a reading. That's all that there is no time frame and how many times or how many times not. You can do reading anytime that you feel that you need something clear to be something to be understood. You need to do a reading. That's all. So readings can be done anytime.
Alfredo Alonso.
Yes.
Baba, can you talk on Odu Ika Otrupong?
Katrupe. Yes, it's not a voodoo. It is Ifa Odu. If you call it a voodoo, a Katrupo, it means it's not a
Odu.
It's a Odu. Yes, it is a Odu in Ifa Katrupo. But see, I am not that much into Afa. We call it Katrupe in Ewe. The Yoruba will say Ika Trupo. We will say Kafatrupe. Kafatrupe in Ewe. But unfortunately, the Bokor who could give us the real meaning to that is not here. And I don't want to go into what I don't really know too much. So I cannot give you anything. So we wait when Bokor comes. He won't come today because he will not be here. He said he can't be here today. Otherwise, I would have let him do that for you. But then please ask the question again, or we may explain to you online. So that will solve your problem. Yeah.
Plants matter. Papa, thank you for doing this. Really appreciate having this space.
Thank you.
You literally just answered the question I had.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Sometimes I hear the terms ancestors and spirit being used interchangeably. Is there a discernible differentiation between the two?
The ancestors are your bloodline. Spirits are nature or natural energies and intelligences that are part of the creation or a part of the people who created the world. They're all there. So your ancestors are people that you are related to on bloodline. So when we say ancestral worship, we pay homage to our ancestors because of them we are here. And if they had not been here, we wouldn't have been here. So we pay homage to them, and then we also pay homage to the spirits that they had worked with or the voodoos that they had worked with in their life. So this is what it is. So ancestors are totally different from ancestral spirits. Ancestors are people who are on your bloodline or people who you share DNA with. But spirits are natural or nature spirits that have nothing to do with you directly, apart from the fact that some of them, your ancestors had worked with them or used them to work when they were here. So they become also like a family to you because your ancestors probably had acquired them to protect the family. So once they are in the family, they become family spirits. But then they don't share any bloodline with you. So spirits don't share bloodline with human beings. But your ancestors, your grandfathers, your great-grandfathers, great-grandmothers, aunties, uncles, brothers, sisters, siblings, nephews, cousins, they are your ancestors. They are the ones that you share blood with. So when we say ancestors, we are talking about those people.
We are back on Facebook.
Yes.
To continue the questions. Kwabna Heru Anan Midasepa.
Thank you too. Thank you, Cobra. I'm very grateful for you for your question. And
Kadi Fisher, Papa, can you tell us about the animalistic people?
Yes, Kadi, yes, we spoke about that. The other day I was teaching people that when a human being dies, so I wish I have a blackboard or whiteboard here so I can explain, but maybe in our next lesson we should be starting to have a whiteboard and a marker so I can explain those things. When a person dies, it's only the person's physical body that dies. So it is when an animal also dies. It's only the animal's physical body that is gone. The blood, the spirit of the life is in the blood, so it goes away. So with human being also, when a person dies, the body is discarded and the spirit goes away and wait to have an opportunity to be born again. That's what we call reincarnation. And then when you look at the Darwin's theory of evolution, which says that animals graduate or upgrade into other animals until they get into human forms, or like the little amoeba, which is the unicellular organism that has later with the clashes with the environment, the interactions with the environment, this unicellular amoeba has doubled, become a dual cellular until cells grow and become another thing, and then grow into animals and human beings and whatever. And you know, the more you have interaction with the environment in which you are, the more cells that generates within that thing, and that's why some people have more cells in them than the others because of the interaction, and some animals or some organisms have more cells than others. This is a scientific proof. So when an animal who has interacted or which has interacted with the environment and with human beings and other things, there is the high possibility that when it is dead and is coming back into this world again, may take a human body. But the thinking and the behavior and everything will be more animalistic than human. These are like the first time human beings on this planet. When I say first time human beings, because each time we will always have first time human beings, because there are some animals who are becoming human. But then when they say animals becoming human, people should not think that the animal grow and then one day it grows straight away to become a human. But I'm talking about the mind. You know, we have five fundamental factors of life. that when something has to survive, there must be let me call it shelter where the animal can and human beings can use to hide. And then there is to be also the fear, the factor of fear, which will now bring out security. And then also the factor of a desire to procreate, which generates sex. And then also, of course, food to eat and survive. So these four instincts, sex, shelter, fear, and food, are common with human beings and animals. Because animals procreate, they fight when they get threatened, they look for food, and they look for shelter to hide and protect themselves. These things are common with we human beings and animals. What differentiates a human being from an animal then? What differentiates a human being from an animal is when the desire to be greater than that four instincts that we have, whereby you have compassion, you have love, you have a desire to see others also progress or live, to be alive. This is where human beings are different from animals. So, like what had happened in the US recently, I wrote a comment to say the way that policeman who killed George Floyd, the way he behaved and his posture, his look on his face is like he's very proud of trying to kill another human being. And in the video, we had people telling him that, oh, blood is coming out of his nose. Please, why don't you just put him in the car? He just stood there so proudly, happily, killing him, and he knows that nothing will happen. Such kind of behavior is only animals who behave that way. Human beings do not behave like that. But because there are a lot of human beings or animals in human form moving about, we cannot tell who is human and who is not human, because we don't know, because we don't have this knowledge that animal minds can take a human form, because they are also on that journey or that ladder of progressing into perfection. So they have to pass through here. We had all been here like that before. It's not only to this particular policeman, but we had all passed here. But when you come here many times and you have refined yourself after many years of interacting with human beings and nature and everything, your way of life and everything becomes what is called human, and even to a point people will begin to look at you as if you are an angel or you are a god, the way you do your things. But that's all that we want, because we all came from a source of happiness, and it is our desire to go back to that happiness. That's why we try to acquire material things, to do this, to do that, so that we can be happy. But until we reach that state of perfection where we can now, the micro and the macro becomes one, or the macro is attracting the micro to come over into merging with it so that they become one. When I say macro, I'm talking about the macrocosm and the microcosm. They join together to become one, then that is a complete happiness. So this is where we are. That's why I made that complete. So a bodiless soul whether it's an animal soul or a human soul or a se, as we call it in Ebe. If that bodiless soul, let's say it's a bodiless soul of a monkey, a gorilla, or a dog, which has interacted with human beings for so long, now it has to progress into a human form and now start to learn or to continue its journey into becoming great. When I say becoming great, it's going towards the supreme or going towards the ultimate truth, which some people call God. That bodiless soul, when a man and a woman meet in copulation and a fetus is formed in the womb of the woman, if the fetus in that womb of the woman has the same vibration with that bodiless soul, whether it is a human being or animal, monkey or dog, has got, because the way that the body you had lived in this world, your inner your soul, let me use the word soul so that everybody can, your soul will record everything that you do in this world. Every action that you had taken, every thought that you have taken will be written on that data form. So when you die, that is the soul carries those data. And it is that data that you have on your chip is what is going to determine what kind of fetus that will attract you. So if a man and a woman who have got that kind of nature, angry nature and behaving like an animal, they only grab, they are only interested in destroying, they are only interested in food and shelter, sex and security or fear. If that's all that their life is around, that's what that they build their life around, and without thinking of any other thing, when these two people meet and have a copulation and the fetus is formed, then that animal, which was a monkey fighting for food or fighting for shelter and fighting for sex and looking for a protection or security or whatever, will now travel, because the vibration with the bodiless soul and the fetus are in same equilibrium or on the same wavelength. Then that soul will travel into the woman's womb and inhibit that fetus, and that become a baby. And slowly this will be nurtured by the woman's womb and all that. And then one day this baby will be born like a human being on the surface. And mother and father and everybody is happy. Oh, we got a child and all this thing. But until now, nobody knows whether it is an animal or it's a human who is coming back. So it is when the child starts growing and its behavior is only to fight for everything it wants, or he or she wants. Like dogs, when they are eating food and when another dog comes closer, you see that they just gnash its teeth. Then the other dog goes away. So such a person, when it comes into this, such an entity, when it comes in the human form, it only knows that kind of thing. It will attack people if people want to share anything with him, and will even go and take other people's thing by force, something that doesn't even belong to him. But he feels that I should take it. That's why we have a lot of armed robbers, we have a lot of criminals and all these people who are happening. That doesn't mean the person will not be a handsome man or looks good to people, but the nature of the person will be of an animal nature. So when I saw what that policeman did, in my mind, I just said, oh, these are some of the first type of human beings in this world. They are learning to be human. And then, of course, this policeman, what is his name?
Let me check.
I don't know. I think it's something Darius or Jarius. I don't know. That policeman, he also is going to leave this world one day. One day when his time comes, that has nothing to do with his conviction or going to jail or on murder charges or being killed because of that. That's not it. But one day, his time will come and he will leave this physical planet, just like how George Floyd also left the world. And then now George Floyd is somewhere. This man too, one day he will be somewhere.
Derek Chauvin.
Derek Chauvin. Okay, thank you very much for sending me that one. So he also will again come back onto this earth in another form. But then in some philosophies that I have studied, they say if you live in this world and you don't behave well, you can come back. Even though you may come in a human form, you can go back and become a goat, a cow, or a dog, or a monkey. You are not guaranteed that you will come back as a human being. You can be a cow and you see how cows suffer. You can also have human understanding, but then the body that nature will give you will not give you the chance to do things that you want to do. That's why some animals begin, when they behave, you think that this animal is like a human being. It thinks like a human being. It behaves like a human being. But do you know why it was a human being before? Now it's now contained in this animal form. That's why it cannot show anything. It cannot even talk, cannot even say anything. It just have to behave. So it is also some human beings will be animals and come in human form, and everything that they do will only be animalistic. But then we are all on a journey. The earth, the planet Earth is a classroom, and we are all just learning and passing through. So when such things happen, sometimes when you are spiritual, you look behind the scene and you feel sorry for the person for doing so, because the person is a new human being. It shouldn't have been like that. And then those who are around should have also played some part of trying to stop it. Just like when you see dogs trying to fight and kill each other, you can throw a stone and then they will run away and disperse. So this is a very serious thing. So there are some human beings who are actually animals, or in human form. That is also there. So Kadi, this is what I wanted to discuss, and this is it. So watch out for people who are animals, and then be very careful with them, because they don't care killing you, because they don't feel anything, because animals kill each other. Even you see the chicken in the house, because of woman, the male chicken, because of the hen, if they see another male in a disadvantaged position, what they do is try to kill it so that it is gone, and the women will be left for them alone. And some people, it is with money. They kill you, they don't care, because they feel that they must have that money and you should die and it should be their own. So there are people like that. Most of these people are all animals in human form. So try to be careful and avoid them.
Francois says Ashe.
Thank you, Francois. Thank you.
Same with Mario Henley.
Mario, and thank you all for joining us and listening to us. We are sharing knowledge.
Ifa Muagun has a question.
Yes, Ifa.
Aside from using animals in ritual offerings, what other functions do animals play in voodoo? I have an owl at my side now.
You see, animals play a lot of things in voodoo. The animals are not always for sacrifice or for rituals. Some animals will be with you, and if death or anything negative is coming towards you, the animal will take your place and die instead of you dying. That's why it is advised in our Ewe culture that people should rear pets. I have seen many times in my own life where animals die because something was going to happen, and then before we know, that animal rather died. One typical example was with my dog we call Gucci. Gucci and Senna are having almost the same birthday. Not the year birthday, but the date of birth is almost close. I think Gucci was 6th of June, and Senna was 8th of June. Senna was in New York and was traveling from school, either going to school or this thing, and they were supposed to take a train. And it was around winter or something. Anyway, maybe Senna himself will write it later and explain. And then the train that they were on, somehow something happened and they have to get off or miss that train. But that was the last train they are supposed to take if they are it will be able to catch their flight or be able to get to school on time. But they missed it. And he was in New York and he was telling us this, he missed the train and all this things. So we shouldn't worry, whatever happens has a reason. And it was that very day Gucci died a day before. Died that very day. It was choked with bone and he died. Then the train, I think in few hours time, the train had an accident and people died on it. But then luckily for Senna and one of his friends, they missed it and they were alive and they are still alive. So it happened in many cases like that with us, and we have seen, and not only the dog, also with my goats, my chicken, and all this. And sometimes for no reason the chicken will just die, and I tell the children, go and bury it, because we don't know any reason. So animals with you, also some are there just to protect you and take you away from danger. So animals in voodoo is not only for sacrifice, it's not only for sacrifices, but then they are also for they are like your pals. Yeah, that's why when I was teaching about human beings in animal form and animals in human form, such things can happen. Maybe that particular animal with you was a human in another life, but then to learn more about life, it came through your life. And then when the time comes and it has to go, it sacrifices itself for you to live, and it leaves its physical body and is gone to come back as a proper or in its real form to be able to continue the journey to the great, which we call God. So that is the role that I know animals play in voodoo, and not in voodoo as such, but then in every culture and most African traditional cultures, the people respect animals in the sense that they can take death or other dangerous things in your place.
Kujo, can spirit help in controlling an extremely angry person or in controlling extreme anger in someone?
I don't get the question, but read it well again.
Can spirits help in controlling extreme anger in someone?
Of course, spirits are there to control anything if you know how to use them. Because if somebody is very angry with you and is trying to attack you, is it not spirits that we use to dismantle the person? Yes, somebody can hold a cutlass and is coming to slice you into pieces. But if you know the secret name of what to tell him, if you say, hey, bring it to you, that is the cutlass you are holding is not for you, it's for your mother, give me. He will give it to you. And what have you done? You have just dismantled the person, and the person will not know even why he has come to give you the cutlass. There are words in spirituality, in voodoo, in Afa, in Ifa, in African traditional spirituality, that are words of power. When you have them and you know them, when you use them, then you know how powerful they are.
Joy Alexander, thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Oh, I'll remove it. Ebenezer Bonsu.
Ebenezer, yes, Eben, yes.
Well, Papa, send me one. I don't know what he was referring to, but if you could.
I think
a kind bundle.
Maybe a kind bundle or Jopata bundle. So, Eben, please send me a message on WhatsApp, and I know exactly what you want, and then we can discuss it. Thank you very much.
Joe Alexander, I would like to purchase one of the bangles, the Jopata bundle.
Okay, Joy. Yes, I've heard you, and please send me a message on WhatsApp. We have our WhatsApp numbers on our website and on our page, on our channel, so that you get in touch with me or send us a message, and we will see how to let you have one of them. Because a lot of people talking about Jopata, and Jopata has been doing a lot of wonderful things. It is not just a bangle. It is more than a bangle. It is more than a complete vodu. It's a complete oracle that is with you. A complete archangel that is walking with you.
Ashelia Jean, how much is the Jopata bangle?
I make the Jopata bangle. It's quite expensive, honestly speaking. If I am initiating you into a full Jopata whereby you are in the shrine, it has its price too. But then if I only have to send the bangle to you through the mail, it also has its price. So please discuss with me on WhatsApp, and I will let you know.
Kafui Bolton, I am with you live, and I want to know how to ask a question. How do I go about it?
Kafui, I cannot know how you ask a question. The question is in your head. It's not with me. I don't know what question you want to ask. How can I tell you how to ask a question? Asking a question is just asking a question. What question do you want to ask? Is it me who will tell you how to ask a question? You are the one who have it in your head. I am not inside your head. How can I tell what you want to ask? Whatever is in your head and you want to ask, Kafui, go ahead and ask.
Richard Okansi, good afternoon.
Hello. Yes, hello, Akwasi, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
I hope you are doing well with your family.
Yes, Akwasi, we are fine. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Yeah.
His question isn't clear, but he says, my wife is trying to deny about going out with other men.
But how many times, Akwesi, let me ask you, do you think that if you see your woman with a woman, a man, another man, do you believe your wife is going to tell you that, oh yes, I just slept with him? Please, that's a childish question. Such kind of question you don't ask your wife. You use your eyes and you observe. And then from your observation, whatever the oracle has told you, if it is true or it's a lie, you will know. It is not a question going to ask your wife that I heard that you have been going out with men, and then she is going to say, yes, I've been going out with men. You want to take bread out of her mouth? Look, you are not a boy, you are not a child. You had already told us what you had experience you had, and when the oracle said that shows that the oracle was right. So it is not you going to ask her to tell you that have you been going out with men when I am not around? Those are children's questions. Don't ask such questions to your wife ever.
Okay, Richard Okansi. Mr. Christopher, what about having your own app? I'm just suggesting.
Having my own app?
Yes.
We haven't gotten there yet. We will eventually. We will eventually. That's why for now we are saying that we are trying to transmit on our own website and then also on the YouTube channel. But then we also want traffic. We want people to get to know us. And if we are having our own app, we have to advertise it somewhere for people to know that this app will take you there. And then if we are doing it on our website, how many people know our website off head. But then Facebook is a worldwide space for everybody to communicate, so you can easily come across us. YouTube is the same. So as we go along, we are trying, and people getting to know us. The more traffic we get to our traffic, our site, will give us the opportunity or advantage, or give us the idea that we should create something where people will go there. But if we do that now, if we are not on Facebook, you wouldn't have met us. That's the truth about it. And it is not our desire that we want to leave Facebook, but because of the way Facebook is treating our work as if we are criminals, or we are trying to instigate people against white people or anything. We are just teaching the truth of our people, the roots of our people, and letting our people to understand that they should begin to think about themselves as human beings. They shouldn't feel inferior to any race, because no race is superior to the other. So this is what we are teaching, by educating our youth to know that they are humans as well, and they should stick to their roots, their culture, their race, their identity, and be proud of their identity. Because if they know the secrets that are in their culture, in the identity, and all kind of lies that had been told to our ancestors, our great-great-grandfathers, and it gotten us to us, we don't even know what is true or what is a lie. So we begin to hate our own. Whenever they said anything about African tradition, people will say, you can even see in some of the comments posted on a Revolution platform that, oh, you people are going to go to hell. Jesus is Lord. You know, there is no name in this world apart from Jesus. I mean, it's stupidity, but then I don't care, because that is their level of thinking. They have not gone above their mother's cooking pot. So they always think that their mother is the one that cooked the most tastier dishes in the world. If you have tasted another mother's food, you will know that your mother is not a good cook at all. Well, because only you have been eating your mother's food from childhood and you have not tasted another food, you always think that your mother is the best cook in the world. That is what our people say. So people who behave like that, when they try to tell you, oh, what you are doing, people are doing, you are doing evil things, what do they know? But then they don't know that we don't really care. We have been where they are now, and we have left there long time ago. And we are trying just to educate our youth, people who are awakened. Traditional spirituality is not a religion. It is an inner call and awakening. After you have tried everything and you are not seeing any way to it, and you come back to tradition with one aim and intention to know truth, then you will understand it. But if you are coming into traditional spirituality practices just because you heard that when you are doing it, you become rich, you become this, then you are at the wrong place. You lost. What you do is how to know yourself. Man, know thyself. When you know yourself, you can empower yourself, and the things that have been blocking your chances, you yourself, you can now kick them off your way and get to where you want to get, and you will be successful. But don't come into traditional spirituality with the aim that you want to be rich quickly without working hard for it. But that's the mistake a lot of people, I'm sorry to say, a lot of friends, a lot of fans from Nigeria, when they call me or send a WhatsApp message to me, hi, what happened? Oh, I need your help. What can I do for you? I want you to make me rich. I don't do that. I teach you how to make yourself rich. I teach you how you can overcome the difficulties you are having, how you can overcome your challenges of inferiority complex, how you can overcome your identity problem, that you are feeling shy to be a black man, so you want to wear some dead white person's or living white person's hair so that you look like a white person. Our names were given to us by our fathers and our grandfathers, so we grew up with it, and some of us, we don't want to change it. then that's why when I have my children, I give my local name to my country, my tribe, my local name to my children, so that the name that I will give them will vibrate them. But because my father gave me this name, I cannot say because my father gave me a name, now that I am aware, I want to change my name. I don't do that. People even have suggested many times, and I told them, no, I'm not that kind of person you just suggest anything to and then I just change because I'm not the one who follow the crowd. I'm not that type of person who follow the crowd, and that's why I don't want people just to follow me or to become say I want to follow you. No, don't follow me. What I'm teaching, try to learn from it and make good use of it, so that if it benefits you tomorrow, you can also raise another leader somewhere. That's what I want. I don't want people to worship or follow me or go blindly. We are not religious people. We are only teaching spirituality. So to awaken the inner self in you, to brighten the essay or your jogbese or your nkrabia, your destiny, your whatever it is in you, that's what we are trying to awaken. The Yoruba call it kadara. We are trying to awaken that which is inside you, so that should polish you up to wherever you want to be. So it is not like that you come and get power and then you take home tomorrow you are rich. We don't do that at African Magic Temple. We are empowering youths of Africa and Africans of African origin in the diaspora. Yes, come on.
Telly Marie, Telly.
Hello,
Hi, Baba.
Marie, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Angie Fisher, Papa, the truth is always bitter to the non-believers.
Of course, it is, Angie. Thank you. Yes, of course, the truth is always bitter, not only to unbelievers, even those who believe sometimes truth is bitter to them, until you start to experiment and experience the reality of what is real. You will always have doubts. That's why in African Magic Temple, we try to teach the practicality. We teach the reality and give you the guidelines to follow. And if your heart is sincere and you are following what we teach you without us being there, when you follow and you do it, nature and spirits of nature, your ancestors will see your sincerity and they'll open the doors for you. That's what we teach here at African Magic Temple. We are not teaching that come and become rich tomorrow. No. We are not that. We are above that roadside traditional priests.
Ebenezer Bonsu.
Yes.
Papa, do you do a destiny reading for what job or career field one will excel in to be successful?
Yes, Ebenezer, yes and no. We don't do a destiny reading as the way people do it in the Western, where they say, I want to do a destiny reading for you, or how people do it in astrology. What we do is that whatever you say on your money before the reading, that is what the oracle will look for and tell you what to do about it. So if you ask the oracle that, I want to know my career path, which path should I take in life so that I can be successful? I want you to give me direction. Then the oracle will go into that and get that information and give it to us to give you. It will come in the coded form, and then we will break the code down and tell you what you have asked the oracle, and this is what the oracle has come out with. But then, like the Western side, where people call themselves witches and all kind of things, and say that they are doing career reading for you, or they are doing a destiny reading for you. Unfortunately, I don't do that. But if you put your money and you make a desire to know something, and your destiny reading comes across into it, because after the oracle goes around you and found that destiny is another thing that is your problem and needs to be attended to, the oracle will come out with that and say, yes, this person, the biggest problem that things are not moving the way it should move, then it is the destiny. Then we will attend to you and tell you, okay, then do this to change your path of destiny. So this is it. Here, I've gotten an award at work, because I thought that was one of your biggest worry in the beginning when we started knowing each other, and I'm happy with that.
Varaya Maya.
Yes.
Greetings.
Hello, Varaya. How are you? Thank you very much for joining us.
Greetings from Ohio, US.
Thank you very much. Greetings to you and the family. How have you been?
Wishing safety for my brothers and sisters all around the US who are dealing with.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We are praying for them that death should spare them. Yeah, because I said something recently, and Bokor Kemaata was saying that the way I said it is like a lot of people in the diaspora are not going to, not if you've gotten the power to overcome gun or do that. And that is the truth. Because spirituality is not a show. It is not for show business. It is not to be proud, and it is not an ego thing whereby you want to show your ego. If you have been given the power that when somebody uses cutlass to slice you, you will not be cut. Or if somebody shoots you with a gun or arrow or anything, that it should not touch you, does not mean that you go and stand in front of everybody to say, shoot me and see whether I will die. You will die. Because why? The spirit will leave you. Because it is a thing to be protecting you in case of the unexpected. When somebody shoots you, the bullet will pass you. Because somehow the spirit will push you away from the path of the bullet so that it does not hit you. Or somebody use a cutlass to hit you from the back or whatever unexpectedly, then of course, even if the cutlass hits your body, you may feel the pain of something hitting you, but it will not cut your muscles or anything, your skin. That's what it is. It is done, but it's not like put your hand down, say cut me and see your hand will fall off. Yes, I must tell you the truth. Spirituality is not for show business. And when you see people begin to show you that I get this juju, that's what, and you know there's a trick in it. Be aware of such people. Yes, let's go on to your question.
Nana Kukosechi, very insightful.
Thank you very much, Nana Kukosechi. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful for all of you for supporting us continuously. Very, very grateful.
Daniel Enin, how do we avoid animals who have come in human form and they are in the police service, like what happened in the US?
To avoid them is when you see, that's why we are teaching about this. If you see such kind of people who behave like animals, they are not behaving like a human being. I mean, with a little, especially like a policeman stops you on the roadside. Where's your car license? And you don't have license. Or maybe you have license, but it's at home. And then they say, where's your license? So, boss, Oga, I beg you, I have license, but I forgot it at home. And the man say, hey, pack. And if he say, okay, I'm taking you to the police station, you can choose to beg him. And if he say, to the police station, because if you want to hustle and struggle with him, he's going to hurt you or create a problem that becomes bigger than you from solving, because he only understands one thing. That is the way his mind, his whole system works, how to attack people like a dog, an angry dog. It doesn't see any other way out. So when you see such people or you meet such situation, I have met so many in my life, maybe because I am on this path for long, that's why I know how to. I've met a lot of time police who come, one day I was driving my car, we'd send the car to spray, so they remove the number plate before spraying, and then when they fix the number plate, the guard which protects this thing has covered the number plate, but I didn't know. When they brought the car, I was just driving, and then one policeman just stopped me at the traffic light. Hey, you are trying to hide your number plate from people. I said, how? What do I do? Then I came out of the car and I saw that. I said, oh, sorry, I think so. Hey, you have to park. That's okay. But then I told him I was going to a meeting. He said, no, it's okay. What I can do, take my license. Let me go to the meeting, and wherever you want me to meet you, I will come back with my car. You can detain the car, but for now, I'm going to a meeting. Take my license and hold it. My everything, my details and everything are on it. I'm not going to run away because the police arrest me because my car number plate was this thing. So when I spoke to him like that he should take my license, and he asked me who I am, and I said, I'm Christopher Voncujovi. I'm a professor of magic and a traditional priest. And then he said, okay, you should go and fix it. I said, thank you. He gave me he didn't even take the license, and I went, and then after my meeting, I went to the mechanics, and they remove it and rebeat it properly. That's it. So when you meet a situation like this, don't try to fight the person with anger. Cool down, reason. If you see the animal nature in the person, reason with the person in such a way that what he wanted, you can avoid it from happening to you. But if you want to meet his anger with your anger, sometimes it will turn into different things. Because one thing you should understand, that nobody wants to feel ashamed, or nobody wants to be ashamed. Because when you are trying to prove to the person that you know better, you know the law better than him, he as a law enforcement agent, even though he or she may not know the law very well, because you are disgracing them in front of other people, they want to prove to you that we have the power. And there you go, getting into trouble. So use your common sense to avoid such animals when you come in contact with them.
Nana Kokosechi, yes, very true. Africa, Olushola, greetings. Thank you for hosting these sessions.
Olushola.
I appreciate the knowledge and stories that you share. My question is, do women have specific or unique roles in this tradition? Also, are there many things
African
that women are forbidden from doing or participating
in anything? A lot of time, this Western system of gender equality is disturbing a lot of Westerners or people in the diaspora. Here in Africa, women play a role or play such a role in traditional spirituality. There are certain roles that men play, and there are certain roles that women play. There are also certain roles that both genders can play together. But then, in the Western sense now, because of this gender equality, women want to do what men were doing before. And this is what is bringing the problem. If you go to most of the shrines in Ghana, it's mostly women. And a lot of things are done by women. There are roles that the man will play, and then the women will tell the man to play this role. And then also the shrines where you have men in abundance, or where it's more of a male-dominated thing. Women also have the role that they have to play. It is not like making the women like they are nobodies or not. So in our African traditional spirituality, there is no gender problem whereby they say there must be 90% represented by women, 100% or 10% women. No. If you are fit and you know that act, you do. Because in my old man's village, there is the lady, you may even see her in some of our videos, Nanasi. She has her own shrine, and a lot of people go to her. Men go there, women also go there. When she is needed, When the old man was alive, there are certain roles that she will play. The old man will send for her to come and do this thing. These are the things that women are the ones who will do it. So that gender problem that people have in the diaspora, it doesn't appear here at all. I don't think that our women are complaining that they don't have a role to play in traditional spirituality at all. Women are not complaining, and nobody is saying that women shouldn't practice traditional spirituality. Everybody, women are getting far, women are getting vodu. And as I said the other time in one of my sessions, that when I was growing up, I never even knew that men also become a trancy. I mean, someone who is in charge of vodu. I never knew, because all my aunties that I knew, my mother's mother and other people were all women. My mother's cousins and all these people, they were all traditional priestesses. They have their own shrines, and my mother used to take me there when I was a child. And I have never seen a man being the priest. I had only known priestesses, and they may have a man as the voice of, they call it Ochiami, someone who is a linguist. Somebody who is a spokesperson for the woman and will be there to speak what the spirit is saying through the woman. And I know that one. So I never knew that a man can also become a trancy. But today, I am also a trancy, and I have seen other men. So this thing of gender equality that Western people are bringing into voodoo had not been there. Everybody is having the right to practice. If there are certain things that, these women cannot practice, just like a woman taking a knife to go and kill an animal. It's not very common in our culture. But if a woman thinks that she's tough enough to use knife and slaughter an animal, that is up to her. She can buy her own animal and slaughter it. Who will stop her? So I leave it there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, let's go to YouTube.
Questions.
Are you people hearing? Is it
YouTube.
Clear? Yes. Everything is clear. Very soon we'll try to get a proper studio mic and everything so that we'll be improving. Yes. Thank you for Martin.
Many thanks for your answers.
Thank you for all your support too.
I learned a lot.
No, it's okay, because you didn't watch the session, or maybe you are asking it again so that some other person can understand. That's why I explain again. I'm not worried about your question at all. That's why I answered it, because I knew that you were the one asking it. You are my big brother, so when you ask, I will answer.
Okay. YouTube. Plants matter. Thank you for the answer. Can you speak a bit on the connections between Africans and the Cyrus star system?
What is the Cyrus stars? I don't understand. I've never heard it before. Cats. What does it mean? Who is asking? African star. African plant matter. When you say Cyrus star, I don't understand. And then, I mean, it's not in my domain. Let me say so in a computer language. It's not in my domain. I've never heard it before. The word Cyrus what? Cyrus star system. No, I don't know whether it is astrology or it's a numerology or it's voodoo or it is Ifa. I don't know what it is, but I have not come across it yet. And then about the relationship with cats. In every culture, cats are regarded as spirit animals. That's all that I can say. And we believe that cats have eyes and they can see a lot of spirits, but because they don't make noise, people don't know that they see spirits. But the dog also can see a spirit, but because dog sees spirits and starts barking, that's why sometimes the dog is barking and there's nothing there, but it's barking. And we believe in our every culture that maybe it has seen an unseen spirit or entity, and it can see it, but even though it's around, we human beings cannot see it. And it is very true, because my dog in the house, when people come here, it backs. There are certain people when they come, it continue backing and will not give them peace of mind. And of course, it's afraid of them, but then it's backing. And then we later found out that those people, they be eating dog meat. So the spirits of dogs are following them. So when our dogs see their brothers and sisters following him, they are dead and following him, then my dog will not stop barking because he's afraid that he probably will eat her too. No, these are practical things that we are experiencing. It's not like a story. So you can tell. Because some people will come, the dog is fine, but when those particular people come, the dog will not stop barking and will be running and trying to hide, but then will be barking. Then we found out that they eat dog meat. Am I telling you that? Yes, Gabriel wanted to ask a question. Can you turn the camera to? Okay, you go ahead. Yes, you know about it.
To make a follow-up on Cyrus star.
And take the camera on him. It's okay.
Some people believe that it's more like a heavenly body that some evolved human beings or ascended masters live. So that's what I know about it. People think it's a heavenly star somewhere.
The heavenly
contain evolved
stars,
human beings
right,
or ascended masters.
A home, like a heavenly place where
Heavenly
there will be
star,
masters
like
sitting.
Heavenly place. Yes.
Yes.
Where some ascended masters, or people say there are people called ascended masters. That's what I know about it. Yeah.
Ascended masters or not ascended masters, because in voodoo we believe that the body does not die. When a body dies, the spirit is what I was just talking about, the bodiless soul and fetus and all these things. So we believe that when people die, they are in the spirit world, whether it is called a Cyrus star or not. That's why we, as Aves or Africans in our tradition, we involve our ancestors, people who died and gone. Whether they are called ascended masters, because ascended masters, when you go deep into it, it will only link you with white people. Is it not? All the white people who had been in Christianity or one other European spirituality will be the only people that will be listed as ascended master. What about my teacher who had even woken up dead person 3 times, and the people he woke up are here and their children are still alive and generation is alive? Will you call him ascended master? No, his name will not appear in the book of the ascended master because he's a black man. So that kind of terms, I don't deal with that. I deal with my ancestors, and what I have seen, the experience that I have had is what I work with. I don't work with dreams and fallacies and fairy tales, because my old man had woken people up 3 times, and I personally had also woken up 2 people. Of course, he was one of the people I woke up when he died first, and my own biological mother, I woke him up. She also stayed again another 2 years before dying. This guy we did the ancestors ceremony for recently, Eric. He said they brought his uncle here. He was almost dead. They brought him here. That's how he knew her. And I was able to wake the uncle up. And the uncle lived for another 8 years before dying due to his own bad behavior that we warned him against, that he should stop it. But he continued. There is a video on my Facebook wall. A woman was brought here dead. They brought her out of the taxi, put her down here. We stood around her. I did everything with some, even blood was coming out of her nose and all this thing. We work, and after some time she woke up before they went back. And then when she woke up, she didn't know that they brought her to a traditional place. So they told the husband that, oh, they have to come back so that I continue. They said, no, they don't want to deal anything with tradition. They have to go back to church. And they went to church, I think 1 or 2 times, and she died. That's it. So those are things that I can talk about. But then talking about ascended masters or stars, serious stars and all these things, those are all Europeans. Listen, I'm not against European spirituality because they also have their own. I am trying to talk about us, Africans. That inferiority complex that we have gotten because there are no records of what Africans have done, or the records are there and those records have been put under the carpet so that we don't know that our ancestors also had done anything. That's what we are trying to awaken our people from, so that we can have that field of understanding that we are humans and each and every culture has its own values and beautiful spiritual culture. That it is not only the angels in biblical heaven are the only people that are entities in the universe. We are also there, but our picture has never been shown. We are always black and we are always behind the screen and nobody sees us. But we are now trying to encourage our people that we should come out. Our ancestors have also done a lot of things and they have changed things. That's why voodoo is feared in the world. It's because of what practical things the voodoo had done. That's why the white man has written a lot of bad and negative things about voodoo. Because if you have not experimented or experienced something, you can't write anything about it. Surely they had had some experience and it was not a good experience for them. So for this reason, whatever was tormenting them must be the devil, because they consider themselves God's people. Even though while doing evil, they are still God's people. So when our people also apply their knowledge and sense to counter what they were doing, then they must, and if it affected them, then it is devilish. So let's get away from that. So serious stars or not serious stars, the Africans believe in their ancestors. And ancestors are people who are masters. Some of them are masters who had taught our people before passing on. And it is upon their shoulders and their knowledge that we are sharing to you. Hello, Raz, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Ras 1.
Egbe Orun, I don't know what it means. What is that Egbe Orun?
Is there a concept of Egbe Orun in voodoo similar to Ifa?
God, as in God? Heaven. Spirits are meeting. Spirits meeting in heaven. Okay. Yeah, of course, if it is in Ifa, then it is also in this. But you see, Ras 1, the problem is that in our culture, heaven doesn't really exist too. We don't have hell, and we don't have hell, and we don't have heaven in our system. We only have our ancestral homes, or our ancestors where they are, and we go back to them. That's what we believe. And then when you do bad thing, when you pass on, your spirit cannot go and join the ancestors until you atone for it. This is what it is in our culture. So the concept of going to hell and going to fire and then going to heaven and drinking milk and honey, it does not exist in our African traditional culture. But the belief that the ancestors don't die, their physical body is the only thing that is dead, and they are all there watching us, is what we believe. And we will also join them and become ancestors tomorrow. And if it is time for us to be born and continue our journey and to teach and to learn, we come back again. So that concept of Egbe Orun, which probably my brothers Tai and Kainde are trying to explain to us, because they are Yoruba, so they understood what you are saying. Yeah.
Some people believe that people inside water, when they say
They come into the world.
during that time, people believe that they are inside water. When they now inside water give birth to them, that is they come to the world. That is their during that time they believe that is their
People to go back.
which is their
Okay.
meeting inside water.
Okay, yes. Now I am getting the concept, Raswan. Yes, it is in tradition that once in a while somebody from the spirit world, let's say, or the ancestors will be born into the world, and some will just come and fulfill their duty either by teaching or doing some magical or spiritual thing, and then after that they are gone. This is what we are talking about, the ladder of evolution. When you are born from amoeba, and slowly your interaction with the environment and all this thing changes you, and you continue until you become human being, and then after becoming human being you become above human being, superhuman being. That is not one day, it is like a circle of a never-ending circle. You come and go. So there are certain people who will only be sent here for a very short time to do some work and bring some awakening, and after that they go back to the ancestral plane. One person that I can think of, whether that is true or not, is a person like Bob Marley, Robert Marley, which we all call Bob Marley. I think you all knew how old he was before he died. But then the message that he left behind is still ringing and awakening black people. When he came out first with his songs, a lot of young people didn't know what he was saying. We were only dancing and jumping. But as you grow older and you listen to the philosophical songs, philosophical words that were in his songs, talking about the black man's redemption and all these things, you realize that such a person is not just an ordinary child. And you should also understand that he was born by a black woman and a white father, and kind of abandoned on the mother in Jamaica. But then, this is usually the case. Okay, take a person like Steve Jobs. For instance, Steve Jobs came as an orphan, a Syrian orphan in what did they call it? Orphanage that somebody adopted, and then see what he has put into the world. And then there are many people like that. You see what they have done, and then that alone will tell you that they only came here briefly. And then, okay, the same case like Jesus Christ, if he has ever existed, the story, you see that he only have a very brief time in the world and is gone. But their message is left behind, and it's still changing humanity and trying to bring humanity closer to divinity. So that Egbe Orun is also in our tradition, if you want to think about it. Yes, people will be born, some people will be born, they say they are water children. Some people will be born, they say it was this. Like in Yoruba, you see somebody, they call someone Babatunde, Iyatunde, or whatever. Iyabo, yes, Iyabo. It means mother has come back. Yes, Iyabo. And Babatunde means father has come back. And all these things are to show that these people came to come and do something, or they are coming back from the ancestral world. So it is also in voodoo or in most African tradition. That's why here, like the one you call in Yoruba, Ogbanje, Ogbanje, which is Ewe, we call it Jikwi. In every language we call it a Jikwi. Means they born the child die. And then the parents become sad. Then the mother get pregnant again. And then within the time of pregnancy, a child is born again, everybody is happy. And then within a short time, that child die again. We call it Jikwi, and in Yoruba is Obanje. And that child in our tradition means the child is coming to worry the parents. So when the child die again, there's a ritual they do. Usually they will mark the child. The dead child, they will mark the face. And then when they bury the child and the mother gets pregnant again, and if they born the child and that mark is on the child, then they know that is that one coming back to worry again. Then there's a ritual that they will do, and then they will tie it down. It can't go back again. And it will grow and become this. These are the things that our tradition does in order to tell you that the spirit world and the physical world are interchanging from time to time. We are not separate from the spirit world, and the spirit world is not separate from you. So that what you are saying should be normal with every African traditional practice, especially Yoruba and every tradition. So that what you are saying should be normal with every African tradition. Yes. Especially Yoruba and every tradition. Thank you very much, Indigenous one. Okay. Thank you.
Indigenous one. Thank you from Hopewell, Virginia.
Like humans. Yes. It is.
Even if
you open
some
BBC,
people acted so animal like,
and you are listening to BBC recently, they've been talking about it. That you can be human today, tomorrow maybe you'll be born dog, or you'll be born a goat, or born a cow. So know how you live here. I mean, it's every day on the BBC. There's a program that is they are advertising, and they are trying to tell you that you can be born a human today, and tomorrow you die and come back like a dog or a cow, and you know that you are human inside cow. But there's nothing you can do because you can't talk. The people will match you and beat you and do everything, and one day they will kill you. You can't do anything. You are human. So let us know how to live our lives. Yes, any more questions? And what is time now? For what?
Okay.
We are in 5 p.m.
Okay.
4:30. My time doesn't
J.
seem.
Otis.
4:12.
5.
We are in 5 p.m.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
4:30. What is it on your own? Oh, no. You are talking about British time. That's London time. Yes. Okay, let's go on. Hello, Jay. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Yeah. How have you been? Hope you are well. Okay, let's go on.
J. Otis.
Thank you. Hello, Jay. How are you? Same to you. Same to you. Yeah. How have you been?
He says,
yes.
Good day, my brother, and blessings.
Hello, Sir Prince. How are you?
And your family and the spirits. Okay. Sir Prince from Senegal. Baba, if
brother,
one is
when you get initiated into our temple, there's no way in the future
says he's not interested or wants out.
This
will it
is
be
the
possible, and
temple
would there be any repercussions?
Wisdom and knowledge, or knowledge and wisdom. What you will learn from this temple and whatever you will learn from us, there will not be any time in your life that you will think that you want to opt out, because it will only going to increase you in knowledge and in wisdom, if that is the purpose you have come to ask for. How can something which is good will be thrown away? It is only when something that is good or is not good for you is what you throw away. So before you take initiation into our temple, one thing you should all understand, that we don't force people to come and take initiation into anything. When you want to take initiation, we will also do a reading to find out whether you are really qualified to be initiated. And if we don't see you as qualified, we will not initiate you. We want to raise leaders. We are not raising church people. We are not raising Christians. We are not raising Muslims. We want to raise leaders who will raise other leaders. So there is no thing to say that you one day want to opt out. You don't have to start in the beginning. This is not a trial and error thing. We are not jokers in our shrine. I'm sorry.
To say that you one day want to come. You don't have to start it. This is not a prayer and
Balogun, not Balogun.
in our shrine. Sorry.
Abayomi Balogun.
Okay, you are talking about
The Cyrus star also has something to do with the indigenous people of
the Mali
northeastern
people. They are
Mali
talking about
also.
These people. Oh, there's a name for them.
Cyrus star.
The Dogon people. No, I think Gabriel, bring this in here. Bring that chair this way. Yes, I think some more people will come. So because
Yes.
one of my sisters also is coming. Irene, welcome. Yes. So you are talking about the Dogon people who are dealing with the stars and everything. If that is it. Yeah. Okay. So Abayomi, I think, as I said already, in African traditional spirituality, there is the belief in our ancestors that they are not dead. They are always there. Only that we cannot see them. But if we do little things that will show us that they are there, the proofs come in our lives. The proofs come in our lives. 3 days ago, I did a reading for a lady whose father is a Nigerian from Niger, and the mother is a Ghanaian. But the mother died, and they were in Niger. The mother came to Ghana and died. So when she came, immediately I opened the mirror. Without even starting, the mother spirit just came. So I asked her, "Who is this woman in your life?" So that's my mother, but she's dead. I said, "Yes, she's here." And then I started mentioning the people who were following her. And then all these people, some are the brothers, some are the people she was living with, and all those things. And then after the reading, I told her to do something, and she did it. And the following morning, she called up to tell me that she saw her mother came in her dream and was angry with the people who were cheating her, taking advantage of her. The mother was angry with them. And I said, exactly what I told you, that your mother is very much concerned with you. That's why she came, and she is saying that she's worried about you. And I should tell you that she's sorry that she didn't really have that closeness with you people before she passed on. So the African traditional spirituality is above all these Darius, Josarios, and all stars. But then it is the same thing. What is the same thing? Because we believe that human beings don't die. Only the physical body dies. The souls or the essay or these things remain. Whether you call them ascended masters, or you call them masters, or you call them your grandfather, they are the same. Because who is an ascended master? Somebody who probably has done a lot of spiritual work in this physical field, and the people recognize his spiritual work. And when he died, people gave him that status of ascended master. And that's why I was saying that. What about the people who have done this same thing and yet still nobody recognized them? Only their immediate people. Because like in India, if my old man were to be born in India, he would have been called a very big guru. People would have been prostrating at his picture, and people would be bowing down and doing all this thing. But because for us it was our father, it was our grandfather, it was our teacher, it was just an ordinary person for us, even though he did a lot of wonderful things before our eyes and all this. For us, he was just an ordinary person, because we saw him eating food, we saw him drinking, we saw him smoking like everybody else. So when he died, the respect we gave him is that we said, oh, because he's a great man, one day other people will come to know about him. So we built a tomb, and then we buried him in that room, so that in the future, when people need to get the mirror or get some of his teachings, we will introduce them, because we believe that he's still around us. Yeah, Vivian, we are here. We are here. You can come. Me le fever. Me leva. See, I'm the cuckoo. You, Akpe. I thought I put this phone on silent. Sorry for the people watching me. I have so many people trying to come. So that's it. So we believe that the masters are masters, whether you call them ascended masters or whatever. In some cultures, they really worship spiritual masters. But then in every culture, it's only your students that will keep your memory. It is not this. It's only in Christianity people worship pastors like TB Joshua, Obinim, Apreku, my daughter, and all the many Ashimolowo, and all these people are being worshipped like gods. But then does it really matter? Maybe when they die, whether they become ascended masters or they become ascended fraudsters, we don't know. Yes, we cannot tell. So let's leave that ascended master matter. We know that our ancestors are existing, and we know that when human beings die, only the physical body that dies. Thank you. What can I say? Yeah? Thank you too for asking the question.
Plant matter. Thank you for breaking. Plant matter says thank you for breaking that down. He appreciates.
Yeah. We'll be closing soon. No?
Okay. We go back to Facebook to pick questions.
Oh, thank you very much, Menuhati Bokor. Akpe. Thank you very much.
Menuhati Bokor says
thank you,
greetings,
Christian.
and the
thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Family. Christian Drosy says greetings from London. Joy Alexander says,
what?
You mentioned you were a monk in India. When my son was a little boy, he would say he's scared.
What is Doshin?
Doshin. I looked it up and...
Okay, go on with the question.
Doshin, D-O-R-S-H-I-N.
Oh, when I was in India, I've never come across the India spirit Doshin, because the India, they have so many gods and goddesses. But then Doshin is not one of the main goddesses or gods that I know about. Because in the Tantra yoga that I practice, and I was a monk, is more of Tantra. And we have our master, but then we were not doing too much of goddesses and gods in that kind of Tantra yoga. Our concentration was more on Lord Shiva and his teachings, and then some of Krishna's teachings, because like we didn't concentrate too much even on the Bhagavad Gita, which is the Indian Bible, where you may have all these gods and goddesses in it, but we more concentrated on Tantra, which is the Lord Shiva's original teaching. So that's what we do. So the Doshin may be a spirit, or maybe a god or goddess in the Hindu mythology. Yeah, I'll call it like in Hindu mythology. But it is possible if we say he's afraid of Doshin, and Doshin, you check it up and it is in the dictionary talking about Indian spirit or goddess, then your son probably might be a reincarnated soul, and whatever had happened before he died and coming back in this life maybe has something to do with that Doshin, and that is what is scaring him. But then my best advice is to do a reading for him to see what exactly is worrying or disturbing him. Then in that you can be sure what you are trying to attack or treat. Yeah.
As you see the many riots as a result of racism, the illusion of white supremacy and police killing as for no reason, how realistic is it, or how achievable is it for Africans in the diaspora to learn or receive protection against gun and knife, etc. from your experience, which protections would be good for us here and why?
Protections that will be good for you over there are the protections that are good for us here. There is nothing. Protection is protection. Protection is Bokor Menuhati. Protection is protection. It does not matter whether it is given to Africans in the diaspora or Africans that are in Africa. All that you need is to protect yourself, or how to protect yourself. But one thing we all should understand is that it is you who will want to be protected, then you will come for protection or ask to be protected. But nobody will come and say, oh, let me give you protection, let me give you protection. It is not the right way. Let the people begin to think of how to protect themselves. Because people going to buy guns, they go to gun shop to buy gun. The other day, Kadi Fisher posted something about gun, some people who, and my question was that, how many people can you kill before they will kill you and your family? Okay? When you go and buy one gun, or even let's say you buy 10 guns, can you shoot them all? Okay, let's say you take 2 guns like this, and then people are coming to kill you. How many of them can you kill before they will come and kill you and kill your family and kill everybody? Even if you are holding a tank launcher, or a grenade launcher, or a bazooka, you are holding it, then you are sure that the people you are going to target are inside a house, or they are in a container, or they are inside a vehicle or something, whereby when you launch it, the whole vehicle will be blown up and then they are dead. But then what about other vehicles that are coming? Let's say so. So at the end of the day, you are buying gun to protect yourself. So that is the same way someone who knows who is awakened will look for spiritual protection that can protect him or her, so that when people want to attack you, you can escape or avoid the attack. That's all that I can say. So there is no particular thing to say that come for this, come for that. It is up to you and up to the people who will say, I want to be protected from this, I want to be protected from that. And then there's those who know how to do those protection for them who will do it. I have a student in the US, and I think he's been here 3 or 4 years ago, and I gave him some protection. Actually, it was jokpata I made for him. So what happened? He called me one evening that he was homeless person. But he was working, but he was homeless. He had a house somewhere, and he was in another place, and his wife and children were somewhere. But then he was working in California or somewhere, but then he was homeless. So, but he has a very beautiful car. So he sleeps in his car. But what he does is that he has to find a corner to park his car and sleep and wake up and go to the public bath or somewhere and get himself clean, or then go to work. But when he parks, sometimes police will come. This is not you can't park your car here. And there was one incident, he parked his car in a parking lot. But then in the parking lot where he parked also, I think you are supposed to park up till some time. I don't know about US, this, and after a certain time, you have to move your car from there. And he was not the only one who parked. So he said the police was coming, and at that about 2 a.m. and was giving ticket to cars. So he woke up in his car, he saw the police coming, and the only thing he said is, Jokwata, hey, these police are coming to catch me here or give me a ticket. And I know in the US, when they give you a ticket, they will calculate it, how many tickets you get, and if you don't take time, they take your driver's license from if you cannot pay. Or they will catch you to jail, like Togbe Americana. He crossed the red light before they put him inside jail. So he said that he told Jokpata that this is what is happening. And the police was coming towards him, and before he could notice, the police had a call on his walkie-talkie radio that he should report somewhere immediately. So the police did not get to him, and he just turned his back and jumped on his motorbike or his car or whatever and left. This is how spirit work. To prevent what is coming towards you not to happen to you. It's not like that you will see the spirit standing in front or coming to crash anything, but something must happen to take off the attention of the person who wants to harm you or destroy you from you. This is all. That's how spirit protection is. It is not like you are wearing an armor coat and say, shoot my back and see whether the bullet enter my body. No. Spirit knows how to take you out of situations that will make you uncomfortable. That is what we call protection. It is even when I'm talking about knife and gun, it's not like you go and stand in front of people to cut you. But if by accident or somebody targets you without you knowing, you will see what will happen. This is how it works. So protection, anybody can go for protection and can come for protection, but the people should have the desire that I want to be protected. Not like they say, just like how people go to the gun shop to buy a gun and keep in the house, believing that the gun will protect them. I'm not saying you don't have gun. No. You can have your gun. But look for another protector to add to whatever you are doing already so that it makes it easier. You can sleep and sleep sound. Thank you very much, Lizzie. Thank you very much. And your daughter's birthday had just passed. And say hello to her for me. Oh, thank you, Efia. How are you? We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for you for a while, but I know you are busy. That's why.
What are the ever initiations in general that are available for people, and what are the divinities or spirits that are concerned with ancestors in Everland?
Bokor Menuhati, the truth about every voodoo or every traditional spirituality is that it is not concentrated at one place. It's cut across the whole Ewe tribes and Ewe dialect, because the Ewes are many different tribes who are called the Ewes. When you go to Beni, you see the 4 people which we call the Aklahwe. And then you see the people speaking the Gengbe, which is the Ewe that the way it is called in foreign language is Gengbe. So if you are, it asks you whether you are a Gen person. But here in Accra, or here in Ghana, we will call the Gans Gen people. Okay? Because the Gans and the Ewes came from the same root. That's why that word is called Gen, referring to Ewes in Ghana and in Togo. And the Ewes also call the name Gen to people who are the Gans. So there is no particular spirit to say that this cut across that, because in the Ewe land you have to be, these are the spirits that you have to be initiated into. No, it is depending on the teacher, because the teacher learns from the teachers also learn from different teachers. They all didn't learn from one shrine, as in Hinduism or in other things, or where even in Hinduism all people don't learn from the same shrine or the same temple. So it is the teacher that you are dealing with. He is a teacher who will tell you what spirits or what voodoo that he is in charge of, or the voodoos that he is working with, and he can choose or tell you that these are the ones that can do this protection for you, and that protection for you, and that protection for you. And if that teacher does not have what you need, as a good teacher, he has to interact with other teachers or go into the shrines of other teachers to find out if they have what his or her student is looking for, to do it for the student so that the student can be protected. And that teacher too will learn from another teacher and add that knowledge to what he has already. So if you take every voodoo as if it is just like people say voodoo da. In my village, there's nothing called voodoo da. But that doesn't mean people don't have a gun and a knife joker. They have. But they don't know anything about voodoo da. They don't know anything about Togbe Nyigla. They don't know anything about all these voodoos that you see in Benin and all this. We don't know anything about it. Our people, they don't have afa. In my area, they don't have afa. They have only these 4 hochi. This hochi, they throw it, they can tell you about tomorrow and next tomorrow and next tomorrow. So the Eves are a tribe of different people coming together. So you cannot put them all together, say this is the spirituality of every people, and when you go to every land, no, it depends on the area that you are going into. If you are going to Vedome, the kind of things they do there is what they will teach you. If you go to Tong, what the kind of things that they are doing, that's what you do to you. If you go to Agave, whatever the kind of things that they are doing in Agave, that's what they will teach you. If you go to Angora, what kind of things they are doing there is what they will teach you. But all these people, Agave, Tong, Manfi, Vedome, and all these things are called Ebes. So there is no particular thing that this initiation is what you will take and that what will make you a spiritualist or will protect you. The teacher that is teaching you should be able to tell you the entities, the voodoos, the principalities, the divinities that he is working with, and the one that can teach you something or make you or give you what you want. This is the difficulty we are having with people who are coming to learn about African traditional spirituality. Like most of the people know about Ifa in the diaspora because Ifa is well written about, and there are books, and then there are a lot of teachers who left Nigeria and went into the diaspora to teach, and also because Ifa also was exported through slavery, just like how voodoo was also exported to Cuba, to the Caribbeans and all these places. And it still holds its strength very strongly there in Cuba and all this thing. And a lot of people in the Americas go to learn. And some of these Cuban teachers also come to, or they came in the past to teach in America. So Ifa is very popular in the diaspora, especially in the US. And people think that Ifa is the only traditional spirituality that Africans have. But for instance, if I'm coming from South Africa, I don't have anything about Ifa, but we have Sangoma, who also has spiritual powers and teach people things. So do you think that Africa has only one spirituality? No. So it depends on the area you are going to, and the teacher that you are coming across is the one who is going to teach you. And if the teacher's teaching is clear to you and is understandable, and you tested it and proven that it is a real teacher, then you learn from the teacher. But if you go to the teacher and the teacher is telling you one thing and doing something else, or whatever he does for you does not come to fulfillment and something else is happening to you, then you know that teacher is not your teacher. That also does not necessarily mean that the teacher doesn't know what he's doing. But maybe you and that teacher's wavelengths have not come together for you to be a student to that teacher. So you look for a teacher who can teach you so you can understand. And what he teaches you, when you apply it, it should work for you. So every land does not have any particular voodoo or any particular initiation whereby I'll tell you that with this initiation, then you know that you are being initiated into everything. It varies from shrine to shrine, teacher to teacher, temple to temple. That's how it is. Yes.
You said earlier that our forefathers, they serve. As in the gods they serve, they have been living before.
Yes.
So they now come to
family.
And they now start to worship the other they has gone.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
question is that What about people that are worshipping as in animals? As in India, I see some worship cow.
Forget about India. We are not Indians. We are talking about Africa and West Africa. So if Indians are worshipping cow, you don't know why they worship cow. The way of worshipping cow in India, in Hinduism, a cow represents a mother. Cow represents mother. Okay? How does cow represent mother? When your mother gives birth to you, when you drink her breast milk, what else do they add to it? Lactogen, milk in the can, powdered milk, and all this. And where do you think it comes from? Are you understanding? So because these things, cow provide these things to support our life, that's why the cow in India is revered as a mother. Okay. Another field is that the Lord Krishna, Gopala, Krishna's another name for Krishna is Gopala. Okay. A Lord Krishna, who was like the king of the gopis. Gopis are people who take care of animals and let's say cattle rearing and all these things. Lord Krishna was also like a cowhead and has taken cows for grazing and all this. And in most of their pictures or writings or drawings, you will see that he is staying beside the cow and I mean with respect, and they're taking milk and all this thing from cow. So people don't feel, they now assume that these cows are so revered, our Lord, just like how Jesus Christ, people are talking about sheep, the animal sheep. And then we are the shepherd, Jesus is a shepherd and all this thing. But we Christians are very wicked, they kill the sheep and chop. Where they say, you are getting it. This is the difference. So in the Indian land, in the Gopi land or Gopala, who was Krishna, you know, Krishna, I was teaching about it the other day, that he was a black man, but because the Aryans who actually came from outside, from Europe to India in the olden days, did not feel that a black person should be, it's like that, they have no choice. They cannot glorify a black person, so they painted him in pictures blue. That's why Krishna is blue. But then the word Krishna in its Sanskrit deep root form is black stone. That's what it means, black stone, because he was dark. But the original people of India were dark skinned. They are the Dravidians. They call them the Dravidians. And then the Aryans came from Europe to join, and then they have this new Indian race that we see now. So the white people don't want the black people to be on their head. That superiority, this thing has started long before our great. So knowing that Krishna, who was one of the wisest people about 2,500 years after Lord Shiva has passed on, should not be above them. So they painted him blue. So everywhere, every picture you see Krishna is blue. He's holding a flute and playing a flute. So the cow is respected and revered. It is not like the way people are thinking that it is worshipped. But when you look at what the cow can do in India, you know the cow is the one that they use as a plow to plow the ground. In India, before machines or tractor and everything come, even today, the cow, they will tie this thing on it and put the plow, and people will stand on it, and the cow will be moving and it plow the ground for them to plant and make food. So why kill such an animal? Are you getting it? Why just slaughter such an animal and eat? This is the reason why a lot of Hindus don't eat beef, because out of respect and reverence to that animal's contribution to human life and human civilization, they feel that no, this is a mother. We shouldn't just kill it. This is all that it is. Maybe today people don't know the deeper root meaning why cows are not killed, and they begin to worship them. That's different, just like how we do every year. People, after so many years, and people who didn't really go to the root to understand, they just do things because they see other people do it. They don't even ask, why do you do it? And people just do it for doing sake, and it becomes cow worshiping. But the root is that cow has contributed to the civilization of the people in the Indus Valley, which is today's India. That's why they place so much respect on the cow. Yes.
You say something about all this animal, like if you have an animal like the one you have in the company, maybe now die, or not expected, you don't expect that you die. And some people, can we eat it? If you can cook it and eat.
Yeah, some people eat, but in my house, in my shrine, no animal that die by itself.
No, as you said before that something happened to your son as you want to travel and.
Yes, I will never eat the animal. We don't eat it. That's what I'm trying to say. We will bury it. That's why even if nothing happened when an animal dies in my shrine or anywhere, whether it is a big animal or a small animal, we bury it. Whether it's an edible animal that everybody will eat or it's just a pet, we bury them. We bury them with respect. We don't just throw them away into the garbage. No. I don't do that. I give respect. Because I understand that we are all on this phase of life. They may be in the form of animal. I may be in the form of a human being today. But we are all here learning how to move on to the higher level. So for that, I give respect. Even the animals that we slaughter or we kill for voodoo, we don't just kill them out of anger. We try to do, because that is what the voodoo has asked for and must eat it. So the animal is using its life to save our life or to save the life of the people we are working for, to change the situation. Because the animal dies, that's why we say when the head of an animal goes, then the human being's head will not go, will be safe. That's what we say when we do the rituals. So the animal, that's why I tell the children and everything that these animals are here to protect us and they are giving us life. We should not just maltreat them anyhow. That's why I make sure their water, their food and everything is always there. And if they don't feed them, I get angry. Because even if we kill them, they are saving and protecting our life. They are sacrificing their life for our life to continue living. So we don't just treat animals just anyhow. Did I answer your question? Yes. I think we are almost done. So, Said, any more questions? Yes. Let's answer 3 more questions and then we can call it a day.
Yes. Joy, can you explain placenta rituals that are done at birth and the purpose of it? My father did one on me at birth along with other rituals.
Were you there when the placenta, when you did one at birth, were you seeing where your father did or somebody told you? Let's be realistic here. You were there when your father was doing the placenta, this thing, when you were born. Can you remember what your father did when you were born? Let us be realistic. Say that somebody has done it and you have heard or you have seen or they told you. In the Ewe culture, the placenta is a very, very important thing. We call it in Ewe Ameno, the mother of human being. That's what it is called in the Ewe language, Ameno, mother of human being. Because that particular placenta is what has fed you and it's the one that your body is wrapped in and taking care of you while you were in the womb. So when you are born, you will be born first, then the placenta will follow. So the placenta, according to every culture, they have to carry it and pray and bury it somewhere that you will never come to see it. You will never come there. That's why they give it to be taken away, to be buried somewhere, so that you will never come across it in your life, because that's your mother. That's what I know about the placenta. It's a very, very important thing in voodoo, and it is very respected. Africa is very deep. If you want to learn Africa, you will never learn it finish. It's very, very deep. And everything we do, as primitive as it may look, has a reason. And if you leave your intelligence and everything and want to find the reasons why things are done, and you leave your classroom education and you want to find the reason why things are done, you will understand and you will come to appreciate it. Yes.
Raquel Grant.
Yeah, Raquel Grant. Yes, thank you, and thank you for joining us.
How do you call on your ancestors?
How do I call on my ancestors? I call on them by their names, and I pour drink for them or pour water for them. That's all. Because my ancestors are people that I share the same DNA with. My ancestors are people that I share my bloodline with. They were. That's why I am. So at least I know one ancestor. That's my father or my mother. And if they have passed on, or if my father is still alive or my mother is still alive, at least their mother or their fathers, which are supposed to be my grandfathers or grandmothers, they have passed on. I use their name and pour libation to them so that they can now take it along the way to the rest of the ancestors who I may not know. That's how I call on my ancestors.
Kefas.
Osigwe. Kefas. Yeah. Hello, my brother. How are you? Thank you for joining us.
Blessings, Papa. As many are returning to African spirituality, what do you think about people that go straight to Kemetic or ancient Egypt spirituality?
Kefa, the truth about that Kemetic thing, what do you really do with Kemet? Do you understand Kemet? A lot of people talking about Kemetic. What do you really learn from that Kemetic thing? Look, don't think that what the Rosicrucians, Amok, and all these people are. How many? These are just organizations that form clandestine kind of groups that they use it in manipulating society and groups and call themselves lodge and all these things just to take advantage of the society. If you belong to them, then they will teach you tricks that you can use to take advantage of people who are not members. Is that the right way? Kemetic. Honestly speaking, I don't know anything about Kemetic anything. I know about voodoo. I know about Afa. I know about Tantra. I know about this. But Kemet, I have seen a lot of people using names, Kemet, and all this. But me, I don't know. I'm not interested in knowing. Because what I know is what I teach. And if I teach it and it's practical and it is working for you, why worry myself about Kemet? What Pharaoh did 4,000, 5,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, what am I going to do with it? What my immediate grandfathers did is what I am teaching. I don't do dreams. I don't do dreams at all. I do reality. Yes? Are we done?
Yes, just comments.
Mm-hmm.
Does Ayute's deep revelation?
Thank you. Thank you.
Daniel Emin, you are right in the case of South Africa.
Yes, of course. Yeah, because the truth is the truth. You can't do two things. You can't. Are you done? If people cut, you can't say anything more than that. Is the truth is the truth. The truth is only one. You can't change it. No, see when like what Kefas was asking about that Kemetic. You know, a lot of people in the diaspora are coming up, Kemetic yoga, Kemetic this, Kemetic that, Kemetic that. But what exactly is it Kemetic? Is it the gold that people wear, or the art form that they dress and dress like Egyptians? Is the spirituality? Spirituality is not dressing. It's a practical thing. Dealing with nature and nature understanding you. To be in harmony with nature, so that when you talk, nature hears, and nature speaks, you hear, and then you put it into practice and see whether it is working for you. That's what that spirituality is. It is not how you dress up or wear something or put something on your neck and say you are a Kemetic person. It does not mean anything. That is just a camouflage. It is not the reality. Pharaoh is dead inside his grave, 4,000, 5,000. You say you are practicing Kemetic yoga.
Menuhati Bokor says, I was specifically asking you, what are the spirits specifically in every land that are concerned with ancestors like Togbizi, Ase, Apedi, etc.?
Oh, Menuhati, you see, Ase, or Sengaji, Aseregaji, those spirits originally were not with our Ewe tradition. Some came from Afa, and Afa, as you know, came from Yoruba land to the Ewe land. That's why we still use the Yoruba words in the Afadu, which the Yoruba call Odu. We call it Afadu. So the Ase or Seregaji originally came from that. Because we, as in, let me talk about where I come from, the Central Ewe, or the Northern Ewe tribe. There we have Togbizikpi. Togbizikpi is the ancestral stool. The ancestral stool was a human being at one time. When I say it was a human being at one time, it is the human being of a family that was sacrificed at that time to go into the psychic world, into the spirit world, to become the host of all the people that will pass from that lineage and go into the spirit world. And it is believed that the ancestral stool becomes that meeting point of all the ancestors that are on that bloodline, or all the people who are on that bloodline. When they die, that is where they converge. That is how important the Togbizikpi, or the ancestral stool, is. And on this ancestral stool, they will select one person, a living person, to become a chief on the ancestral stool. And this person who is the chief on the ancestral stool will be called the name of the stool. Like in our case, our ancestral stool is called Geje Zikpi. Togbi Zikpi, which means, Togbi means the ancestors or grandfather. The Zikpi means stool, which they sit on. So the Togbi Zikpi that my family have is called Togbi Geje. So whenever they put a new chief on the stool, the person will be called Togbe Geje, the first or second or third, depending on those who had ascended to the throne and had passed on into the ancestral world, and then another one comes after that. I had been in charge of my family ancestral stool for 18 years. I was the one who was doing all the work and doing all the prayers and summoning all the ancestral spirits when it is time for us to feed them and all this. And so I know so much about Togbi Zikpi, how to do it and how to. So Togbi Zikpi is one. But then if you are not from our bloodline, you don't belong to that Togbi Zikpi. Nevertheless, you can come and ask us to pray to our stool, to ask our ancestors to assist you, even though you are not from that root. And the person who knows how to invoke these ancestors can call the ancestors that here I found this person. He says his name is this, his name is that. He says he's from this place and he's coming to you people because he needs your help to assist him or her in this way. And then we do the prayers and we do the necessary rituals and the result comes. Even though you may not be coming from that bloodline. So there is no way you who has become part of the family through association, your children or yourself or your lineage can never ascended onto that stool as a chief in the future. This is why people fight over chieftaincy, somebody who does not belong. Because the person who was used to set up the stool, who was once a human being in the past, belongs to a bloodline. And those bloodlines are the ones who are supposed to become chiefs and ascend the throne. But you coming from far away or outside, probably you have more money or anything, and you influence people. There are people in every family who are bad people, who only take advantage when there's money. They may say, oh, you don't worry, you can also become chief. Oh, your children can become chief. It is never true. Sometimes what happens is that when you ascend, you die. If the people whose bloodline that come from there and pour libation, the stool will kill you because you don't have, your ass is not supposed to sit on that. This is the truth about the ancestral stool. Okay, when you talk about Ase or Seregaji and Apeli, they are juju or zoka or things that are done to protect the houses. When your teacher knows how to do it, or a person who he or she can do them for you to protect your house for you and protect your house and all these things. So that is all that it is in the Ewe land. And we have a gu, which probably in Yoruba they will call Ogun. But we have the egu, and the egu is usually the hammer and the anvil of the blacksmith. And that one is also used as a medicine, because in our culture, egu is very important because it is the hammer and the anvil that makes a hoe, cutlass, the trap that you take to the bush to listen, even some cooking pots, and even today the cars that are made, if we want to look at it, it's all made out of some blacksmith in another different form. So that also is very respected very much. And I was in India too. It's a very, very, very important thing. The Indians also have it. That's why they have a special day in India that all the tools that you use in going to farm, or a mason or a carpenter, that day they will put all these tools down, they will cook for the tools, they will give a drink and flowers and all this thing, they will celebrate for them, because they believe that there is a spirit behind this thing. That's why these things come into existence. But then when you are an ordinary eye, you think that, how can this person be worshipping a saw? And you'll be wondering how can that man is cooking food for his hammer. But the fact is that there is a spirit that brought the sense of human being or humanity to be able to create this thing to help civilization. So that spirit is what they worship. In the same thing in the Ewe land where I come from. The egu as a zupe is the same one they call a zupe machirizu. Those are the names that they call it. People call it a gu, people call it a zoo, and whatever. But that is the hammer and the anvil. It's a very, very important thing in every tradition also. Or even the gun that they used to take to the bush before killing animal are all made by the hammer and the anvil. And then you talk about Togbe Ade. Togbe Ade is Adela. The word actually, the full name is Adela, a hunter. But then to shorten it, they call it Togbe Ade. But the real full name should be Togbe Adela, the person who is a hunter. And it's also a spirit, and I think that is the spirit in the Yoruba Orisha function they call the Ochosi. So it's the hunter who goes to the bush and then kill. But you should not forget that before a hunter goes into the bush and kill, the hammer and the anvil, they have to make a gun for him. So this is where the anvil and the hammer, Zupe, Egu, become very important. And even before Togbe Zikpi will be sat or to be put down and work as a Togbe Zikpi, it is the Egu who has gone to kill animal and bring to the Togbe Zikpi. So Egu is very important in Ewe. And we as children, some of us, our ancestors were also blacksmiths. So we came from that Egu line already automatically. So it becomes part of our life, and whatever we do, the Egu is there. And once we have any spirit like Jopata, it's also a symbol of Egu or a Zupe. So every child or every child of a blacksmith must wear this bangle. That's what I was told. So it has nothing to do with necessarily with Mama Chamba or Chamba, but everybody has to wear that. So this is it. So Togbe Menuhati Kemaata, yes, this is how far I know about our Ewe tradition. And then you know the Ewes also worship rivers, because we believe that the rivers that pass through and give us water have got a spirit in it. That's why in my village we have the river Dai, and then we pour libation to Dai. And even in Accra, I pour libation to Dai, and also some of the rivers that are in Accra area, I pour libation, because this is where I work, and I need to acknowledge and recognize these spirits that are whose land I am on. I need to pay homage to them too.
The clarity you provide about the tradition specifically is why I asked the questions about.
Now that I understand what you are asking, that's why I try to clarify it.
Okay, first, my next question, if you don't mind, Papa, do you think it is okay for a non-native of a particular land to get initiated or learn practical and positive African spirituality belonging to another nation?
Definitely, why not? Knowledge is not limited to one area. I kept saying that all the time. We are in Ghana, we are learning about Israel, and even we are telling people that our grandfather is Abraham. And isn't that what all black people are saying, that their grandfather is Abraham and Jesus? Is it our culture? But it's knowledge. People are learning from here and learning from there. There are many people learning Ifa. People are learning Afa. Afa did not originally come from our Ewe land, but then people are learning. Knowledge is power. So if wherever you can go from any tradition, even if you don't come from that root, if what they will teach you there will benefit your life and the life of other people who are around you, learn it. I'm not an Indian, but I went to India to learn. Is that not what I'm teaching you people now? So for knowledge, if you can acquire it and you have the money to acquire it, please do, because it is very useful to you and to humanity. Because like now, if not because my children, Senna and Pele, when they were in the university in Vermont, Middlebury College, they did this project of forming the revolution by promoting African Magic Temple. You people wouldn't have been hearing from me. Everything would have been in our room, and we would just be doing it on the scale that we have been doing, that people who know us come and we teach them. But because of Senna and Pele and their school, Middlebury College, they came down to set up our internet website and everything for us. And from there we took off, and we have reached all of you. So knowledge is power. So please, wherever you can seek knowledge and look for, you can seek knowledge, look for it and get it. There's nothing wrong to go into another culture. I have a vodu there I call Akintola. It's not a Ewe vodu, it's a Yoruba vodu, but I'm working it and it's working for me. Is it not? Yeah, it's a Yoruba voodoo, but I got it and it's working for me. Once I know the names that I can repeat and I try it and it's working for me. I've been working with Akintola almost about 14, 15 years now, and it is working with me. So that's it. And there are so many voodoos. This Abochi is an orphan spirit from Mali, Niger, or whatever they call it, Abochi, and I'm working with it. So wherever you can seek knowledge, if it is useful knowledge, please get it. Don't leave it because it does not belong to your people. Because your people cannot know everything in the world. They can only know what they can know. Put the air conditioner off, for some people are freezing. Oh, J. Otis, I bless you. May the ancestors be with you all and make this coming week, be a fantastic one for you. Please protect yourself and avoid conflict. Don't let anything come across your way because life is only one. When you lose it, it will take a long time before you get it again. Make good use of this one. Thank you very much. Are we done? Yeah, Chris, okay. Amaga, Kwame, how are you? Thank you. Is it?
Can you please have an idea about Zangbeto? I heard that they were protectors in the village or in the night.
Yes.
I don't know about it.
Yes, Chris, the thing is that Zangbeto, there are two words, Zangbeto, Kelekbeto. But people don't hear so much about Kelekbeto. People only hear about Zangbeto because the Zangbeto is the one that rather, instead of them walking in the Zang, which is night, every word for night is Eza. That's why Zangbeto. And then the name for daylight is called Kele. So we have the Kelekbeto. But people only talk about Zangbeto because they are getting that Raffia is dancing, and that's why it became a very popular thing because people are always looking for miracle. People are always looking for things to prove that there is power. Voodoo does not dance, okay? Voodoo doesn't dance. But voodoo will dance, it has to possess a human being, and the human being will dance. But today, we see Zangbeto is doing dancing by itself, and they say there's nobody inside, and it's dancing and going around, and then sometimes it fall down, and people wake him up. If he can fall down, then it's not a spirit. Spirit don't fall down. Okay? Take that as a note. So the Zangbeto supposed to be in the night. The spirit that guards and protects the community at night is called Zangbeto. There's the real one, which you can never see or decide to see. And you will see it. It will appear. There was one that appeared to my son, Seiram, when he was about 3 years old. And it appeared to Seiram when he was about 3 years old. He was just going to buy toffee from one shop in the area, and because he knew how to walk there, and then this spirit just appeared to him. And he was scared. He started crying, and then people rushed to pick him up. And then he was trying to describe, as a 3-year-old, he was trying to describe. Then people don't know, but when I heard it, I knew that it was the Zangbeto, or the spirit of the night, that was passing by, and he came across it. And in those kind of spirits, don't appear to just anybody. They appear to people that they think they are trying to communicate some message. So that is about the Zangbeto. They are there. The real ones are there, but I don't believe in the ones that they bring out in groups and people are dancing around. When you fall down, then they wake it up. And then now these days, because the last time one fell down and his human being was showing, so now they have made a new one. It has to open itself to show that there's no human being inside. Look, I'm a professional illusionist. I have performed magic, illusion magic over the world: Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, Japan. I have performed around. I performed for people like Schwarzenegger. I have performed shows for great people. So when people do use illusion to represent voodoo, I am not with them. Voodoo is real, and we don't need to put tricks and illusions in it to prove to people that voodoo is real. If it is working, it is showing. You don't need anything. The voodoo, when they give you a voodoo, a proper voodoo, if it's working, you don't need anybody to tell you anything. You will see it, you will see it. Nobody needs to be there. It will work. Gabriel, you don't believe what I'm saying? If it is real, it will work. You don't need to show it to anybody. Even you hide inside your toilet and you call it, it will come. Yes. So these things to show off that they are drumming, and then Zangbeto is turning around, and then people. This is just for show business. That's not voodoo, but that's what people believe is voodoo, and that's the way they make their living. I'm not the person to tell you don't go there or go there, but I know what is the reality. Thank you, everybody. Who is there again? Anybody? Okay. So I am thanking everybody who had been with us today. And today's section had been also another interesting one. And I'm very grateful for all your support that you are giving me. And those who wanted to get the Jokpata and wanted to know more about Jokpata, please contact us on our WhatsApp pages and our telephone numbers. And then I'll get back to you. I'm very grateful to Kadi Fisher, Angie Fisher, Ifadara, for Martin Kobler, and all the great people that had been supporting me continuously, Angie and all those of you. May the ancestors of your fathers, may the gods of your ancestors, and may they be with you throughout the week. I am here to teach you. I am not here to be a lord over anybody. I'm not here to be worshipped by anybody. I'm not here to form a group that you have to support, worship me. I am only here to teach you what I know. And I believe very strongly if you learn from me what I am teaching, you will see it practically happening to you. I don't need to be there. I'm only teaching you the truth. Thank you very much. Until we meet next week again. Bye-bye for now.